And welcome to
Let's Talk About Book,
where we talk about
book.
I'm Smeevca.
And I'm Strawberry.
And we're reading A Clash of Kings by George R. R. Martin. Yep. George Morge.
Yeah?
It's like the people who do Jolkin, Rolkin, Tolkien.
Yeah.
But with... Guys, I don't think his middle initials are even actually two R's. I think he just did it because of J.R.R. Tolkien.
Got you, yeah.
I feel like I've heard that somewhere before, and I could just be totally misremembering. I think that the RR is
just like a reference.
Yeah, just like a reference.
And it sounds cool.
Yeah. But anyway, that's not important. What's important is that we are continuing Clash of Kings.
Yeah.
And we're starting with Bran and ending with not Davos.
Yeah.
We're ending with an Arya chapter?
Yes.
We end with an Arya chapter, and the next chapter is a Davos chapter, which we've never had before.
Yeah, I was
exciting.
I was thinking about reading that chapter, but I saw it was about 40 minutes in the audiobook, and I was like, it might be a bit much to go over and stuff.
Right, yeah, so. But we're going to be getting some new perspectives coming up, which is exciting, because these have all been...
ones that we've had, except for the first chapter, but that's, prologue,
Yeah, the prologue's always, someone who we've otherwise never met, I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to think if we ever get any, perspective chapters in later books that are just kind of, one-offs. And I don't know that we do. I think every time that we get, a perspective character as, a character...
It'll be around for, more than...
Yeah, more than one chapter, I'm pretty sure. They might not get, a ton.
Yeah.
But I think they get at least two.
Yeah.
Because there's, one guy who I'm thinking of who I'm like, does he get more than one chapter? And I think so.
They're playing outside, so they're being loud.
Yeah.
Calling them in will only cause them to be loud inside.
Yeah,
and they quieted down, so hopefully they will continue to be quiet.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all could hear that, but there was...
Some puppy noises
outside. They were just very happy.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
yeah, there's one guy I'm thinking of who, maybe only gets one chapter, but I'm like, no, I think he gets more than one chapter. He's just, we just don't get, a ton from him.
Yeah.
But in this section, I took a pause there because I just what am I going to say, actually? What am I going to...
Probably part of it got cut out in the...
Yeah,
probably. The truncate silence.
Yeah, because the truncate silence happens. But the point is that we're still in the intro and need to get on to the actual chapter by chapter stuff. So, comment, subscribe, and all that.
Yeah.
Although, actually, there was something... Because, we talked before about, looking at, comments
I don't know.
Stuff.
Do we have any Game of Thrones comments?
I don't know that we have any, Game of Thrones comments specifically this time.
We have some for Cradle, which we'll talk about in our...
Cradle one. Yeah. We'll, talk more directly. Because we've gotten some, new people commenting and stuff, which is nice.
Yes,
and
very nice.
If you want us to not that we're necessarily going to be and now we're the section where we read everyone's comments, but we do see them and we do kind of like talking about them and responding to them a little bit because it's easier to respond.
We want to try and go over them at the beginning of the episodes and stuff and respond to them because it's easier than typing it out.
Yeah,
and we love to see the comments and we like to respond and talk to people. So
so we do want to do some of that. Yeah, it's easier than trying to type out a comment a lot of the time.
But we'll do the Game of Thrones ones on the Game of Thrones episodes and the Cradle ones on the Cradle episodes.
Yes, and we've specifically gotten some more Cradle people recently who are leaving comments and stuff. So exciting stuff. and now we will finally move on to the actual chapter by chapter bit. Bran.
So this chapter I read with the last section, so it's been a second since I read this chapter. It'll come to me as we're going through it, but
the main thing about this chapter is, of course,
just Bran a-wooing at this point. Like, right, I remember just because I was talking to you after, like, I had read it, and I'm just like, because it's like this maester, right?
Yeah.
Like, comes in to talk to him, and I'm just like, okay, like, just imagine, though, like, like, you've grown up around this kid, and it's like this 8-year-old kid who just recently, like...
went through a, like, big tragic event.
Big tragic event, like, can't walk, like, his whole thing. A bunch of his family's gone, you know, like...
his dad's dead.
His dad's dead, his little brother's been acting weird and feral.
Yep.
And then you come in here, and then all of a sudden you just hear, oh, just, like, constant for, like, because it says that, like, he's keeping them up, and that, like, he's doing this for, like, a while.
Yeah.
Just wooing.
Right, because the thing is that, like, Bran, he hates being in his room. He hates being in his bed in his room because he feels trapped in there. He likes looking out the window and stuff.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to go to bed.
He doesn't want to go to bed. And so he's hearing the wolves. Yep. He's hearing Summer and Shaggy Dog howling to each other.
Yeah, and it's also the comet is happening.
Yeah,
and
the comet's
right.
comet's happening, and there's all that. And so it's like he starts howling with them.
Yep.
And I think at first, there's like a guard who's like, "You all right, bud?"
Yeah.
And then he just keeps howling at him. He's like, and then he goes and gets the maester, who's like,
You really need to go to bed.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to. He doesn't say anything. He just looks at him and just keeps howling, I'm pretty sure.
Well...
Or does he end up saying stuff?
He does say stuff to him. So before
Sorry, I have a bad memory of this chapter. The rest of the chapters I have a much better memory of, but it's been a second.
You're good, and I jumped straight to the wooing because it's funny, and because we had, like, talked about it before as, like, a thing. Because, like, he's thinking about the dire wolves, and, you know, he's like, they're howling, he's like, they're, long and sad and full of grief and longing, and he's like, they're mourning, they're like the other dire wolves that have, like, gone away and stuff. Are they calling to Grey Wind and Ghost and Iberia and Lady's Shade? Do they miss their brothers and sisters too? And he has this thought of, like, you know, who are they mourning now? Had some enemy slain the king of the north who used to be his brother Robb. So that's just kind of like an interesting... Like,
yeah, interesting. That is.
Yep.
Because he's already thinking that?
Yes.
That's fun, because, like, I read this before we read this, like, next section, and this has a bit more of Robb, like, King Robb.
King in the North, yep. Because he'd already been, like, Lord Robb versus, like, my brother Robb, and now he's King in the North, you know, the King in the North who used to be his brother Robb, which is interesting. Yeah.
I'm very excited to talk about Robb and Joffrey, but that will be later.
Yep. Also, we get this interesting...
And Catelyn versus Cersei, but anyway.
Yes. Because it's also an interesting thing, Bran did not remember falling, yet they said he had.
Yeah.
So he supposed it must be true, which is just, like, so interesting.
Yeah, because he feels like there's something off about it, but, like, he's just like, well, they said that this happened, so, like, you know. Yeah, because, but there's something wrong.
Yeah, because he has, like, these weird... Because there's, like... At first, he couldn't remember, like, them and, like... Because he has, like, the memory of them, and then, like, the crow, like, pecks at it, and then he has this, like, dream about, like, the gargoyles, like, pushing him off the wall and stuff, and now he's fully like, they say I fell. I don't really remember it. And so it's, like... Yeah, it's getting, like, weirdly, I feel like, more hazy for him. But there's also all the people talking about the comet. Because they're like, oh, the wolves, they're, like, howling at the comet, maybe? And it's like, oh, they think it's the moon. And it's like... And, fucking...
I love all the different views of the comet, what everyone thinks it means.
Yep, because, Osha is like, no, because the maester's like, perchance they think it is the moon. And then Bran tells that to Asha, who laughs and says, your wolves have, more wit than your maester.
Yeah.
They know truth, the Grey Man has forgotten. And so then it's like, asked Osha what it means, and she says, blood and fire, boy, and nothing sweet. Which is interesting, because the Targaryen words are fire and blood. Right. That's their, like, house words. Yeah. And Daenerys having this whole magical thing with the comet over somewhere else, and then Osha's, like, blood and fire.
It is also interesting, because this whole, like, beginning of this book is, like, all these different views of, like, people, like, and what they think about the comet. But then I'm also thinking about, like, Dany, because, like, she, like... it does seem more aligned with her, but it is also like
her just like
her interpretation of like she saw the comment like,
yep.
oh, this is like a sign for me. But it's kind of just the first in that line of people seeing the comment and interpreting it like as a sign for them specifically.
Yep, because the Septon says, it is the sword that slays the season.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's sort of heralding the end of summer and the beginning of autumn and whatnot. And so, like, viewing it in that way. Old Nan did not think so, and she'd lived longer than any of them. Dragon, she said, lifting her head and sniffing.
Yeah.
She was near blind and could not see the comedy as she claimed she could smell it. It'd be dragons, boy. And it's just like, Old Nan!
Yeah.
She's fucking tapped into some shit, you know? Like, she's fucking...
She's like, I know, but like, I don't want to be involved because it's sketchy.
Yep, it's so wild. But yeah, and so then all the wooing happens.
She's like one of the oldest, like people around that we know of, right? Other than like the maester at the wall. Yeah,
it's like those two are like probably the oldest fucking people alive on Westeros right now. Yeah. I think they're two like the oldest people that we know of living on Westeros right now. But Bran is like, if I were truly a direwolf, I would understand the song, talking about them like howling. In his wolf dreams, he could race up the sides of mountains and taller than any tower, stand on the summit beneath the full moon, all the world below him the way it used to be. Thinking about like back when he could climb and stuff, and so he's like he wants to be a direwolf. He's like I'm tired of being shut in this room. I want to be a wolf, and so he starts howling. It sounded stupid. A little boy's howl, not a wolf's. Yet Summer gave answer. Bran hurried again.
Just this little 8-year-old wooing in his window. Like, like, go to bed, child. Like, it's like, I'm a lord. Shut up.
Yep.
And, a
woo. Yep. And so then the guardsman leaves, and when he came back, Maester Loon was with him, and he's like, Bran, the dogs are making enough noise. You need to quiet down. And Bran says, I'm talking to the wolves. All men must sleep, Bran, even princes. Which that's another little thing that he thinks about. That he's like, I'm a prince now because Robb is king, and so like I'm next in line, so I'm the prince, and that's weird. When I sleep, I turn into a wolf. Bran turned his face away and looked back out into the night. Do wolves dream? All creatures dream, I think. Yet not as men do. Do dead men dream? Bran asked, thinking of his father. Some say yes, some no. The dead themselves are silent on the matter. Do trees dream? Trees? No. They do, Bran said with sudden certainty. They dream tree dreams. I dream of a tree sometimes. A weirwood, like the one in the God's Wood. It calls to me. The wolf dreams are better. I smell things, and sometimes I can taste the blood.
Yeah, just like, you're a maester, and you don't even really believe in, like, the
magic and stuff.
Yeah. And you're just like, what is wrong? Have dreams just
it's like this comic comes, and now he's like a wooing with the wolves, and he's like, sometimes I dream about being a wolf, and I taste blood. Sometimes I dream about, it's like, do trees dream? And then it's like, no. It's like, no, they do. Trees definitely dream. Sometimes I dream about a tree.
Because kids can already be creepy enough, but you know, like, because sometimes they can just like pick up on, or just like grab something and just run with it, and you're like, what are you talking about? You know?
It's like, okay, child.
Exactly.
But yeah, and Maester was like, maybe you should spend time with the other kids.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't like them.
I don't like the other kids. And then we get like...
the Freys are there, and he's not like a fan.
No, the two Walders.
Yeah.
Two boys both named Walder Frey. And there's Little Walder, who's the older one, and Big Walder, who's the younger one.
Of course.
Because of course. Yeah. No, I think... No, it's Little Walder is the younger one, but is smaller.
Okay.
Big Walder is older, but is physically smaller.
Got you. Yeah.
Big Walder is older, but physically smaller. Little Walder is younger, but physically bigger. And so they are big and little based on age.
But not on,
on size, because it was like, he was born first, so he was bigger at first, but then I grew to be bigger.
Yeah.
And all that. And they played this game called like Lord of the Crossing or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then the like wolf jumped out, and they're not allowed to have him around again.
Yep, and it's so funny. I love this like the little sort of world building thing of getting this like children's game.
Yeah.
Where it's like based on, because it's like the Freys controlled this like river, and so like the whole game is that you are the Lord of the river.
Yeah.
And they have to like are like asking you to like let them pass.
Yeah.
And
which is like how he like interacts with others around him.
Right. And so it's just like this interesting little like thing, and then it's like, oh, but you can betray them if you say mayhaps.
Yeah.
If you can sneakily put a like I think that's what it is, a mayhaps in there, then yeah,
because I feel like the Freys are involved in the nonsense.
In the nonsense?
Yeah. I don't remember what happens. Which is good, but like
but then you have this like foggy sense of like and
then with betrayal and such.
Yeah.
Being part of the game.
Right. And they're like, Bran, you'll be the referee, and then they just ignore Bran and just argue with each other the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's this thing where it's like, they're playing this game, and some of the other kids will like play it with them, and they're all just like laughing and having a good time, and Bran's just like watching them and not being able to participate. So you get the sense that like really the reason why he like doesn't like them is just because
he can't participate.
He can't participate in the same way, which is very sad.
Yeah.
It's I feel like George is good at being like sad in a very like human sort of way, where it's like Bran as a child is just like, I don't like them, but really it's this like other thing.
Yeah, it's just like lonely.
Yeah. But at a certain point, oh yeah, because he's like, I want to go like riding out in the woods, and it's like, no, it's dangerous. You got in trouble last time.
Yeah.
So there's all that trouble last time, and it's like, my wolf will protect me, and it's like, I don't know about that. And so then at a certain point, he's just wooing.
Yeah.
And
because he just like keeps wooing to like get them to go away eventually. He's like, I'm done with this conversation.
Yeah, because it's like like one day, oh yeah, because he wants to go out and like do stuff. So like Bran is being all like, you know, princes should be allowed to sail the sea and hunt boar in the wolf's wood and joust with lances, because he's like, he wants to go do things, he's not allowed to do things. Bran, child, why do you torment yourself so? One day you may do some of those things, but now you're only a boy of 8. I'd sooner be a wolf. I could find Arya and Sansa. I'd smell where they were and go save them. I'd tear out the Kingslayer's throat with my teeth. Rip! And then the war would be over and everyone would come back to Winterfell. If I was a wolf, he howled. Woo! And so then the maester's like, a true prince would welcome. Oh!
Now I'm done with this.
Now I'm done with this conversation. It's howling time.
It's howling time.
As you will, child. And then the thing is that like as soon as he's gone,
he's like, okay, I'm bored now. Actually,
it's like he howls a little bit more. And it's like it's not as fun. Now that I'm not being like, you know, stubborn to them.
It's cute.
It's very cute
and sad.
But yeah, oh yeah, and also because it's actually like this part now after the conversation that we get all that like Walder, big Walder, little Walder, the game, and all that sort of stuff explained. We're cousins, not brothers. He's ahead of me in the line of succession, even though I'm older. But you know, it's just like this whole thing of like none of them like they're not close, but they're still just like getting this like little glimpse into the family and how much this like line of succession must like come up for these like small children to know their place in the line of succession and be like bickering with each other about it.
Right.
We're not the only Walders either. Black Walder, Red Walder, Bastard Walder. Plus there's girls named Walda. And Tyr. You always forget Tyr. That's he's Tyr, not Walder. It's just like and then the whole stuff about the game, and then because Rickon then like plays with them, and Rickon's wolf like attacks them when they like hit like Rickon somehow. Smack him with a stick, right? Because part of being the Lord is that you have like a stick and you can like push people into the water whenever you want. And so then as soon as they like hit him with the stick, wolf attacks, Rickon thinks that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And, but, like, you know, that causes trouble, and the wolves have to be, like, kept somewhere else so they're not around the kids, and so that's part of why they're, like, sad and howling and stuff. After that, oddly, Rickon decided he liked the Walders. Because initially he didn't like them when they showed up, because he's like, I want my family back. I don't want these random kids showing up. But then, you know, after that little flashback, Maester Luwin comes back with something to help Bran sleep.
Yeah.
This will give you dreamless sleep, sweet dreamless sleep. Come in the morning, you'll feel better. And then Osha lingers behind and it's like, is it the wolf dreams again? Bran's like, yeah. You should not fight so hard, boy. I see you talking to the heart tree. Might be the gods are trying to talk back. The gods? And he's thinking about, you know, the sleep, sweet, dreamless sleep. Yet when the darkness closed over him, he found himself in the gods' wood, moving silently beneath green-gray sentinels and gnarled oaks as old as time. I am walking, he thought, exulting. And so he's like, he was moving on 4 good legs.
Yeah,
so he's like in, I think, Summer's perspective, but I don't know if it's like specified, but I mean that's his wolf. So it's like whenever he has these wolf dreams, he's like literally
like a wolf.
Literally like a wolf, and because it's like we get how whenever he's a wolf, he sometimes gets squirrels, and the taste of blood is very good to him whenever he's in the wolf dreams and stuff. The taste of hot blood and the way the bones would crack between his teeth.
Yeah. Because then he talks about, like, ripping, like, before he had talked about, like, ripping the Kingslayer's
throat out and stuff. He could smell his brother, too, a familiar scent, strong and earthy. His scent was black as his coat. His brother was loping around the walls, full of fury. Round and round he went, night after night, night after day after night, tireless searching for prey or for a way out, for his mother, his litter mates, his pack, searching, and never finding. And so, I think that is, Shaggy Dog is the one that's, like, the black one. And so I think that it's, like, Bran's, like, in Summer's perspective. And Summer's like, oh, I can hear my brother, the other dog, howling and stuff. Yeah. So it's, like, it's not made super, like, explicit, but, like, you know, the fact that they're, like, around the castle. And that specifically, like, hearing...
I thought he was talking about Jon.
Jon?
Yeah.
Like the black one would have been, like, Jon.
Yeah.
I guess that does make sense.
Like,
since like Jon's got like the
that and like the black cloak
the black cloak and whatnot.
Of the walking around the wall searching for something.
I hadn't thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like where the wolves are, I believe, lines up with where the wolves are currently being kept in Winterfell right now.
Got you. Yeah. I think I just viewed it as like
more sort of like
as like Bran was physically like feeling like a wolf and like like those like sensations and all that type of stuff. And then he said he smelled his brother, and so then I was like, okay, so then now
we're like moving somewhere else.
We're moving somewhere else to like Jon and kind of like symbolically like this.
Yeah, I guess just because like, you know, because Ghost is like pure white, right. I figured that like if that since that would be sort of like representing him, but like that does make sense.
Yeah,
the
I could see it also being both.
Yeah,
like like it symbolizing like it physically being like him like being like in like Summer's body and seeing Shaggy Dog like walking like that, but it's symbolizing Jon.
Shaggy Dog does have the silliest name.
It's
like they all have like real ass names like Greywind and Ghost and Summer and then Shaggy Dog, and
that really is a 4-year-old name. Like really that's one of the things that is very like 4-year-old, you know?
Yeah, nothing else about him is 4-year-old, but that is that one is for sure. But yeah. And so that's Bran's chapter.
Yeah.
He's having wolf dreams, but also tree dreams.
Yeah.
And Osha's like, hey, the gods are trying to like talk to you.
Yeah.
And so it's like we got some shit going on with Bran.
So I'm like kind of wondering if there's like wolf gods and like because it's like they like call them like the old gods. So like but they're just like always talked about in a like conglomeration. So it's like can you like separate? Nameless. Yeah, can you separate them out to like you know trees and wolves and like other stuff?
Yeah, the others. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's Bran's chapter. Anything else? Because like you said that you wanted to talk a little bit about like because like you vaguely remember me talking about some stuff.
Oh, right. Yeah. I do have vague memories of you talking about, like, someone being, like, a warg, I think was the word, and turning into a wolf, or, well, not just turning into a wolf, like, switching places and, like, like, possessing a wolf body, or other animal bodies and stuff, like, switching and stuff. And then also someone switched right before they died.
Yeah.
I remember that. Like, right before, or as they were dying, they, like, switched into, like, a wolf.
Yeah. And I will not be confirming or denying or elaborating or anything. Because it's like, I could talk about those things before, but now that we're actually reading it, I'm like, nope, gotta be quiet. I, like, so want to talk about it, but, like, nope, not gonna, but yeah, so...
Yeah.
So you feel like we're maybe getting a little bit of... of that going on?
Yeah, I could see Bran doing that.
Yeah, because...
But now I'm expecting, like, things to go wrong and stuff. Like, I don't know how good that will be.
Yeah, like how good that would be for Bran?
Yeah. Like, it's, like, good and, like, escapism and, like, stuff like that. Like, you can move around. Like, there's, like, really good things about it. But, like, I don't know, with the magic with the series, it seems like it's not, like...
Magic's not often, like, just, like, purely a good time.
Right. So, like, I could see it, like, really fucking with his mind in some way. Like, maybe, like, overlapping senses in a weird way that, like, messes with things. And so then, like, like, he expects things to be, like, one way when he's, like, a human. It's just, like...
Right, because he's already, like, thinking about, like, how good blood tastes when he's a wolf and whatnot.
Like,
and
stuff like
people
that.
out.
Yep,
You know.
so, like, I could see it, like, kind of almost overtaking his mind and in a way.
Becoming more sort of wolf-y and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's, like, I definitely, you know... Because, like, here, you know, whenever he's, like, in the wolf dream, he's like, oh, my brother, and he thinks about the other wolves and how he wants to, like, communicate with them and stuff. And I do just think about, like, Wheel of Time.
Yes, yeah.
Because Wheel of Time has, like, wolf dreams and communicating with wolves and all this sort of stuff, but it's, like, it's different, but it's got, like, on certain levels, it's, like, similar. Yeah. And so it's just, like, interesting. Especially since they were, like, contemporaries and they're, like, friends.
Both like, Wolf Dream stuff.
It really is interesting sort of comparing and contrasting them. Because in some ways they're very similar, and in other ways they're very different.
Yeah. They're, like, working off of the same, like, stuff and going very different thematically.
Yes.
To go out and bark.
Yeah, because we talked some on our own about, like, how... Wheel of Time and, like, Robert Jordan still ends up, like, on the, like, heroic side of things.
Yeah.
In a way that, like, Game of Thrones is very much, like, you know, not that no one can ever, like, be good or do good things, but that, like, heroism is very much being, like, deconstructed in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And there's, like, deconstructing heroism in, like,
a different way.
In a different way, because it's, like, you know, Rand is complex, he has things going on, we're deconstructing some things about, like...
And George R. R. Martin, like, his kind of, like, philosophy is, like, tends to be, humans tend towards the, like, the worst kind of end, and Robert Jordan tends to lean more optimistically. People tend to kind of want, like, he has plenty of dark and, like, you know, bad things happening, but he kind of tends towards a more optimistic.
Right. And there's also an interesting thing where it's, like, people who are bad are dark friends. Like, not that there's, like, no people who are, like, non-dark friends who like, do bad things, you know? But, like, because Wheel of Time does have this, like, you know, there's the Great Lord of the Dark and the Dark Friends and all that, there is this sort of, like, dichotomy that exists in a way that, like, doesn't in here. Where it's, like, everyone's just kind of people doing stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's, like, it's not like, and here's our evil group.
Right.
Here's our group of, like, villains. Like, there are in the sense of, like, the Lannisters, but they're also not, like, aligned with the supernatural evil of, like, the others. Or, like, the White Walkers. Right. Because we get, like, the supernatural evil of, like, the White Walkers, this threat from up north that we haven't even gotten much of outside of, like, the prologue of the first book.
Right.
But the Lannisters aren't, like, aligned with them or anything, so it's, like, just different approaches to this idea of, like, evil.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, like, you know, you become a dark friend in Wheel of Time. It's not that, like, being a dark friend makes you evil. It's, like, if you're evil, like, if you're already kind of shitty, you will get, like, swept up by them as, like, a group.
Yeah.
In some sense. but it's not like, everyone who's bad is a dark friend. But it's just
right,
like
yeah, it's a bit...
But we do have a dedicated evil team.
Yeah.
In a way that I feel like we don't... Like, because even, like, though the Lannisters are shitty,
right.
we have, like, Tyrion, who we like more, and, like, stuff like that. So it's just, like, they're doing different things.
Right, yeah.
With fantasy. And also, there's other stuff, but, like, we haven't gotten into it enough yet for me to start talking, like, other comparisons between Game of Thrones and Wheel of Time that I want to, but I'm like, I can't.
Okay, got you. Okay.
Where I'm just like, I have a thing in mind, but I'm like, that they are especially, like, interesting in terms of comparison between them, but we haven't quite gone enough into it, I don't think. So. Alrighty. And so now we're moving on to Arya.
Yes.
we took a little
break to eat.
Yes, we got some food. Food arrived. We ate the food, and it was good. So now we're back to finish up. Finish up. I say as we only had done like one chapter.
What do you mean?
Yeah, but also like, man, the dogs, they were being so rude in the last chapter, and just like being distracting and stuff. But now, alrighty. So we're with Arya.
Yeah.
And we're traveling.
Yep, and it's just kind of...
Yeah, it's mostly just sort of like checking in on Arya. We're traveling with the Night's Watch people.
And she's still got to be like careful and...
Yep, she's got to be careful. Yeah. She's also...
Oh, and they're also... Is this where they're confronted by the people? Like Queen's people, and like Arya thinks it's for her, but it's for the other kid, like Robert's kid.
Yes. And
he's got like the helmet and stuff. He keeps like polishing it, but he doesn't wear it and stuff.
Yes, he's got the like horned helmet.
And he knows that they're after him, but he also doesn't know why. He's just like, I don't know, I was just like kind of told and like
it's just suddenly it's just like, hey, you gotta go join the Night's Watch now. It's like unclear why. Yeah, because he's Robert's bastard, Gendry, which I think
we had met like in the first book. Ned went to like see him.
Right. Had gone to see him over like the blacksmith shop and whatnot. Yeah. And so they do. This is the one where they get like confronted by those guys. It's like the I think it's like the gold cloaks.
Yeah, it's like sent out from
the city to like go get them. And
like Yoren, that's his name?
Yeah, Yoren.
Yeah, he's like, you can't take anyone and blah 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 and like
yep, it's like doesn't matter what they did, they're part of the Night's Watch now. And it's like whatever crimes or whatever, that's not your fucking business anymore. It's like, well, the Queen wants him. It's like, the Queen can get over it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh, well, we might come back. So they keep, like, having to look over their shoulder to kind of, like... Because they're, like, they're probably still chasing us and stuff.
Right. And so, like, the big stuff from this chapter, it's, like, they're traveling, and as they're traveling north, everyone else is traveling south. Because they're, like, fleeing the war. Yep. So a lot of this chapter is sort of, like, getting that sense of, like... the regular people like fleeing the war
and like the places that are blocked off. It's like, oh, normally we can go through this place with no problem, but now we've got to go around and like, or like be like sneaky or whatever.
Yep. And it's like, we're supposed to be the Night's Watch. It's supposed to be like, oh, we're neutral and we're not part of this war, but like
who knows?
Who knows? No one really cares about that.
Yep.
And also just sort of like as like a fun little thing, wolves. It's a bad year for wolves. There's wolves all around.
Is this where Arya dreams about wolves? Oh no, is that the other chapter?
It might be the other chapter where she dreams about wolves.
I think it's the other chapter. We'll talk about it then.
Yeah, we can talk about it then, because there's like, oh yeah, there's this great big she-wolf who's leading these other wolves
and like eating babies, and she's like, wolves don't eat babies, and they're like, why do you care so much?
Yep, it's like, all right, you gotta be more, you gotta lay a little bit more low. Yeah, you're always out here being like, wolves don't eat babies. I would know because this is Castle Forge Steel, and I care a lot about wolves. And it's like, Arya, cut it out a little bit. But yeah, because she was like, because it's around the God's Eye, and it's like, is that near the Trident? Because that's where I let Nymeria go. Is this Nymeria? But yeah, and so there's all this like, ooh, what's up with that? Because this is a bit about like the eating babies and whatnot. Defensive of this wolf, and they're like, what are you?
Right.
What's your problem? Yeah, and just like a lot of the like, people are dying on the road. They're having to like bury people. Other people are having to bury people as they're like fleeing the war and stuff. Yeah, and it's like she thinks that they're after her, but Gendry's like, why would they be after you?
Right.
But then when Yoren tells him to fuck off, it's like, well, I got all these people fucking backing me up. You've got like a handful of people. I got all these recruits.
Right.
And it's like, fine, we'll be back. It's like, all right, we gotta fucking go.
Yeah. Because they'll come back with more people.
Because they will come back with more people, and also it's like, yeah, there's like a bunch of us, but like, you guys are not trained.
Yep.
we just have sheer numbers. They have actual training. Yoren also steals the dude's sword. He's like, I'll be taking that. The wall needs a good sword. Just like, what a... Yeah, you excited, Holly? Yeah. Hi. Oh. Ow. You're on my leg. Okay.
Holly's being a little menace.
She is being a little menace. But yeah, not to be, so super short about this chapter.
Yeah. It's good and stuff. There's not a ton to talk about. Like, we've already been, like, talking about, like, kind of what's been happening with the war, but it's now, like, kind of Arya seeing it and stuff.
Right, we're sort of getting this more, like, ground level, like, the regular people view of the war, which is also something else I think that, like, Robert Jordan does.
Yeah,
we often hear about, like, refugees being a part of, like, the war.
Yep.
But I feel like we sort of, like, see it and linger on it in a little bit of a different way. It's just, like, different ways of talking about it and whatnot. But yeah, and so it's like a lot of, because you get a lot of chapters I feel like this, where it's like where you're like, you're going somewhere, and a lot of it's just sort of like descriptions, getting like a vibe for what's going on, like, these like sad moments where they're like burying this boy and like putting like acorns in his grave, so like maybe a tree will grow there. It's like, but all these little details that end up not, being important for the like big plot.
Yeah, but it is for like the like feeling.
Yeah, for like the feeling, for the mood, for some of the like thematic stuff about like what the war does to sort of like the regular people.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of like actual plot stuff in the form of like they're coming after Arya and having to avoid it, and like getting a little bit of this like Arya Gendry stuff going on where they both kind of know that something's going on with the other, but they don't fully know what the deal is. Gendry doesn't even fully know what the deal is. Arya knows what her deal is, why they'd be after her. But he doesn't even know. So yeah, that's mainly what this sort of chapter's doing, So is there anything else you've got to say about this chapter?
No, I don't think so.
Alright. And now we're with Jon.
Yeah.
Back up at the wall.
Yeah, Jon's not all that concerned about all the old books, all the very, very old books. He's like, what is this? This certainly isn't anything important. We don't need to worry about it at all. Yeah, just come with us past the wall. I don't think going through any of the book stuff is good. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but also...
Yeah, the sort of feeling of like, Sam's like, this seems really important. Like, right. I was like, it's fine.
And I'm like, because he's like, oh yeah, this one thing is from like before they like before the Starks.
Oh yeah, it must have been like from back before it became like united and like this like therefore this guy's like one of the kings of winter or whatever.
Yeah, and like talking about like all this like old stuff or whatever. And he's like, this hasn't been organized and it really should be organized, and it's like way older than like the stuff that basically any other area has, it seems, and it's like, yeah, maybe that's really important to organize and figure out what it's talking about. It's
like, yeah, but we gotta go on this range, and so like those maps, so you were supposed to get some maps here.
Yeah.
And apparently he's been like up all night, like Sam was a little like up all night.
Yep. And he's like super nervous and does not want to go.
No, he's like scared about it, and
yeah,
and that's understandable. And I think Jon has a thing where it's like, yeah, we're all scared, it's like it's a scary thing, but like you can do it. He's like, do I have to though?
Yeah,
you could do the things. And it's like, Maester Aemon's too old to come, and you're his steward, so you got to come instead. And it's like,
right.
Which I get it. I wouldn't want to go out and go ranging beyond the wall.
And, like, he could be very important and, like, actually needed on this mission and stuff. But I'm just, like, also concerned about this old library.
Yeah. Found drawings of the faces in the trees. A book about the tongue of the children of the forest. Works that even the Citadel doesn't have.
Yeah, like, for me, like, this part of this chapter was, like, the most important,
right,
like, kind of bit.
The books will still be there when we return. If we return.
Right.
It's like, yeah, that is the question.
Also, like, books can burn, you know? Mm-hmm.
Like, stuff can happen to them while you're gone. Yeah, the old bear is taking 200 seasoned men, and 3/4 of them rangers. Corrin Halfhand will be bringing another 100 brothers from the Shadow Tower. You'll be safe as if you were back home in your lord father's castle at Horn Hill. Now, it was never very safe in my father's castle either. The gods played cruel jests, Jon thought. It's like, oh, right, yes, well,
Well,
but yeah, and Jon's like looking at the wall and stuff. We get a little bit of just like, hey, remember the wall? It's made of ice.
Right.
Still
in some of the
because we're still in some of these early chapters where the first time you get a character's perspective, there's like, I don't even know if this is, but like in some of those early perspective chapters, we're still getting like reacquainted, like, hey, remember the stuff that exists in this world? Remember, you know, what the wall is and where everyone is and what everyone's up to, you know? And so it makes it a little bit like less to kind of, you know, talk about for the chapters. But he's just like looking up at the wall, like, yep, we're gonna be actually like going like beyond the wall. This is like,
yep, and that's like what he's been like wanting.
Yep.
Anyway, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted like the range and stuff. So like.
Yeah, and he's really like taking things seriously.
Right.
Like we get a whole thing about like Pip and Halder and Toad had offered to buy him his first woman to celebrate his first ranging. Do what you want, he told Toad. I took a vow.
Yeah.
And so he's like trying to sort of like take this seriously and like really commit to it, because he had his whole thing in the previous book where he was trying to run away and then being like brought back, and so I feel like he's really now trying to like double down and like fully commit to it,
and really show he's committed.
Yep.
Because he was like caught, you know.
Right. Exactly. So it's so it's interesting, you know, like sort of seeing Jon really like committing to the Night's Watch and like seeing that like change in him, but between the books and like where he's gonna kind of like end up going with that and whatnot. And we get a little bit about like there's like new recruits, and you know now, and so he's sort of like looking at them being like, oh yeah, we were new recruits. Right. Yep, a brigand, a barber, a beggar, 2 orphans, and a boy whore. With such do we defend the realms of men. Yeah. They'll do. I felt that coming on for a while. And oh, you can see. I might cut it out, but there was a sneeze, and we're seeing it on the on just like the spike and the audio. Jon's also thinking about Robb. Yeah, because he's like Robb's king in the north now, and he's like,
oh, he'll be a good king or whatever. He's like, talking and stuff.
And it's interesting. It's like Jon was still not certain how he felt about it. Robb, a king, the brother he'd played with, fought with, shared his first cup of wine with. So now Robb will sip summer wine from jeweled goblets while I'm kneeling beside some stream sucking snowmelt from cupped hands. Robb will make a good king, he said loyally. Yeah. It's just he has these like complicated feelings about it, but he's still like, you know, that's my brother, and he still like loves them, and so he's like, no, he'll be good. He'll be a good king.
I do find it interesting, like, the distinction that, like, Martin's making between, like, the lords and, like, king. Yes. And, like, the difference in...
being a lord versus being a king. And, like, how it sort of affects their, like, perception.
Right. And, like, how other people see them and treat them, and then how they, like, see themselves and then treat others around them. Right. And, like, how that changes. And, like... I just find it interesting because, like, a lot of times, like, they're not the same, but I just tend to think of, like, oh, I don't know, like, lords and kings and whatever. You know, like, they just tend to get lumped in as, like, I don't know, it's basically the same thing. Right. But, like, just having the, like, distinction of, like, no, it's, like, above other lords, so it just ends
it's
up
like, we were in this, like, lordly class, so, like, kingship means something to us in a way that, like, as a commoner, a lord, a king,
it's, like, the same thing, but, like, to, like, them, it, like, it, like, is this difference.
As people caught sort of, like, in the middle between, like, the lowest rung and, like, the highest rung, you know.
Right, and then how that then shifts all of, like, the kind of lord houses around them and stuff, because then they're all elevated to, like, these positions next to a king, and, you know, and so like then there's all of these, like, then there's, like, all of these mini Game of Thrones, like, in other places that, like, are almost sparked.
Right.
Like, they already kind of existed in their own, because, like, there is still that competition in, like, the families and stuff with, like, lord, like, that type of stuff. But then it just becomes,
because it's, like, the major houses and the minor houses.
Yeah, but it just becomes more, like, inflamed and stuff. And then there's, like, just more, like, opportunity to, like, I don't know.
Okay, because, like, you know, once we start getting into, like, the Catelyn perspective, we get to see, like, some of that with, like, what's going on, like, around Robb.
I can't wait to talk about the Catelyn chapter. I've been very excited to talk about the Catelyn chapter.
I'm excited to talk about it with you as well. I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
I think I, like, texted you in that chapter, and I was like, I'm very excited to talk about this.
Yep, and I'm like, yay. But
yeah, but, like, it starts to, like, kind of lead into what we'll end up talking in that chapter, because it's, you know.
Yep. And Jon's talking about this Robb stuff, you know, the whole, like, he'll be a good king, to the, like, blacksmith guy.
Right.
Whose name escapes me right now. But he's just, like, a dude who's around. He's, like, one-armed blacksmith guy. And he was, I was his man, a Baratheon man. Right. Smith and armor at Storm's End. And he's like, I knew the Baratheons. And he, like, made Robert's warhammer and stuff.
Yeah.
Robert was never the same after he put on that crown. Some men are like swords, made for fighting. Hang them up and they go to rust. And his brothers... Robert was the true steel. Stannis is pure iron, black and hard and strong, yes, but brittle, the way iron gets. He'll break before he bends. And Renly, that one, he's copper. Bright and shiny, pretty to look at, but not worth all that much at the end of the day. And what metal is Robb? Jon did not ask.
Yeah.
And so it's just, like, interesting.
Yeah.
Because we also get this, like, that gets brought up a lot. Robert is the true steel. Stannis is iron, hard but brittle. Yeah. I don't feel like we get the Renly Copper comparison brought up as much in, like, videos and whatnot, but people often talk about how, like, Stannis he's hard but brittle, he'll break before he bends.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting that we're getting that, like, in a Jon chapter.
Right.
Considering he's not as, like, related to it. But it's interesting getting
this,
but
like... you can absolutely see it, like, how that's the case from, like, the prologue. Like,
right.
From what we saw of him. It's like, yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yep.
Although it's interesting that we have been seeing him bend.
Yes.
In a way, you know?
Yeah.
But, like... I don't know.
Right.
Like, at least with the like, Red Lady and everything.
Yes. Yeah. Getting him to sort of, like, bend a little bit, to, like, change a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also just, like, this interesting, this guy talking about Robert, who, like, knew him and describing him as, like, you know, some men are made for fighting, hanging them up and they go to rust. It's just, like, it's very evocative, you know.
And it's, like, talking about, like, the loyalty, and then also, like, you can see, like...
Because, like, Ned was loyal.
Yeah, and also, like, a bit of, like, bitterness, like, because of the loyalty, you know?
Right.
Like,
it's like,
I was a Baratheon man, and, like...
Yep, and then, like, look what happened. It's like...
Right.
Yep, having that loyalty to him, and then look how he ended up, and that's how Ned was. It's like...
Yep.
Ned was loyal to Robb.
Yep.
To Robert, and then, you know, it's like, it's not... Sometimes not about loyalty, it's about whether or not they're actually good for the job
right.
and whatnot, you know. Robert... It's so funny because there's that, you know, the saying, when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Right, yeah,
and Robert literally had a warhammer.
Yeah.
Was his weapon. All Robert had was a hammer, so everything looked like a nail.
Yeah.
As soon as everyone said, you can't go around hammering things, he's just like, what the fuck do I do?
Right.
All I have is this hammer. And I don't know. I'd never, like... I don't know if that's, like, intentional per se, but it's just... I'd never thought about that before. Yeah, and so then they're just, like, talking about that, and they're like, oh, you know, there's... Sam, his father, their house is, like, sworn in with, like, Renly. They're, like, backing, like, King Renly, and so it's, like, Sam's family would be on sort of, like, quote, opposite side of, like... Jon's family with, like, King Robb, but y'all are Night's Watch, and you can't let that...
Can't, like, talk about it. And,
can't talk about it. It's like,
and it's like, this isn't a thing, you know?
Yep. Best not to talk of such things. So Night's Watch took no side. Yep. And we get this one guy, Thorin Smallwood. He's talking to J.R. Mormont. He's talking to the Lord Commander, being like, you shouldn't be going and doing this ranging. I should be doing it.
Yeah.
You're too old. I should be kind of like head ranger since Benjen Stark is dead. And he's like, first of all, fuck you.
He's not dead. Well, maybe he's dead, but like we haven't confirmed it.
It's like, we haven't confirmed that. And it's like, first of all, fuck you. I'm Lord Commander. You don't get to tell me that I'm too old to go do this thing. Also, Benjen Stark's not confirmed dead yet, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've sent too many people out. I'm not just gonna sit here just like waiting. Like, I gotta go just like see. Like, this is...
Yep, I'm not just gonna keep
big.
sending people out to go die.
I gotta just figure this out.
Yeah. And so he has that talk, and then, you know, he's talking with Jon after that guy leaves. It's like, can you believe this guy? I'd sooner name you First Ranger. Do I look frail? No, my lord. You look strong as a don't cozen me. Don't cozen me, Snow. Yep, and then he's like looking at the maps and
Sam has a really hard time talking to him, like, at all.
Yep, he's very stuttery. My lord, there were more, but this it's just just fully can't talk.
I will say the audiobook narrator did a good job.
Yeah.
On Sam in this part.
That's good.
Like the stuttering and everything.
Yeah. Because sometimes it's like when you're trying to do stuttering and stammering like that, it can get like annoying. You know?
Yeah. But he did a good job.
That's good. That's always good to hear. If it happens we're all butchered out there, I mean for my successor to know where and how we died.
Yeah.
That's why he's bringing all the like ravens and stuff so he can be sending messages back, because he's like,
I want like our best like ravens and all of this. And...
Yep, it's like if we all get killed, someone needs to like actually know. We keep sending people out and then getting nothing back, so we need to like send something back.
Yeah, we can't waste this.
Right. That boy is big a fool he seems, talking about Sam. His Lord Father stands high in King Renly's council, and I have half a notion to dispatch him. No, best not.
Yeah, to like send him to like...
it's like, maybe we should go like try and like ask Renly, like he wants to go to the other kings and be like, hey, we asked the fucking... you know, Joffrey for more people, and, you know, it's like, if they're all kings, sure, give us...
Because he sends someone else to talk to Renly, though. He just decides, like, against Sam. He's like, no, he'll probably won't be listened to. It won't be, like, worth it. I'll send someone else. But we still need to talk to him.
Yeah, he sends someone else, some guy, Sir Arnell.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're sending someone to, like, everyone. They're like, we just, like, people need to believe us. It doesn't matter who's, like, what titles, whatever. I don't care.
Yep. What would you have of King Renly? The same thing I'd have of all of them,
exactly.
Lad. Men. Night's Watch is not proud and must take what is offered. Yep. And it's like, oh yeah, Sir Alliser should reach King's Landing by the turn of the moon, but whether this boy Joffrey will pay him any heed, I do not know. Thorne has the White's hand to show them. A grisly pale thing with black fingers it was, that twitched and stirred in its jar as if it were still alive. And so it's like they're sending that hand that like he cut off.
And then he's like, I wish we had another one to send, you know, like...
to send to all of them.
Yeah.
But hopefully this will do.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. It's really funny because it's like, we're gonna go send this guy with this like fucking living hand in a jar to go like convince them to go do this. It's like, it's crazy. And what do you think? How do you think that they'll react to this hand in a jar? Do you think they'll give a shit?
Because Tyrion, because he's sending it to King's Landing, right? Because like we'll get to it in a little bit, but like Tyrion like thinks like, you know, like I am remembering you, like I like like you said something, you know, like I am remembering you. So like he does have at least one like someone in his corner. In King's Landing, in like Tyrion, like he's not like full like believing, but like he could be. I'd be like swayed. He has some, you know.
Yeah, has like some like someone who might potentially, yeah.
But I mean, it just is like whether he can
like get everyone else to care about it or do anything about it. Even. Yeah. Because it's like, who cares about this right now? There's other shit going on.
Exactly. Like, there's a lot going on. They're worried about a lot of wars.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there's a lot of war going on.
They're worried a lot about, like, the South right now. They're not worried about, well, they're worried about the North only as in south of the wall, the North, you know?
They're worried about their North, not the North.
Exactly.
You know, as Osho would say, you guys are all Southerners.
Exactly, right.
To us. And oh yeah, in this section we start to get the stuff about his sister Mage Mormont.
Yeah.
My sister said to have taken a bear for her lover. I'd believe that before I believe one 15 feet tall. Though in a world where the dead come walking. But yeah, because in a later chapter, someone else talks about the whole thing of like the Mormont woman mating with bears and stuff. It just sort of is this funny little thing about them. And he's like, "How's Jon's hand?" Because it got burned, but it's like, it's fine. I can use my sword and stuff.
Yeah, because he's supposed to like stretch it and stuff.
Yep. And one thing that I thought was just like a little funny little detail was that it's like because of the burned hand, he's wearing a glove on it, and it's like, and he has a glove on the other hand because it'd feel weird wearing just one glove.
Yeah.
And it's just such a funny little detail. It's just like, I don't need the glove on the other hand, but like, it's got to be even. Oh yeah, and then we get the whole thing about Maester Aemon and how he could have been king.
Right.
That there was like these opportunities where he was like offered to be the king, but like turned it down.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I had a hard time keeping track of it all, but I got like the kind of basics of the story.
Yes, it can be hard to kind of keep track of it all because there's all these like Targaryen names getting thrown around, but we do get his sort of like history of like, because he was like the fourth son of a fourth son.
Yeah.
And so it's
then people died and stuff happened, but then he kept doing other stuff
and turning things down, and it was because it was his younger brother Aegon who ended up becoming king, and he's Aegon the Unlikely.
Right.
Because no one expected that he would have become king because he was the youngest.
Fifth.
Yep. And that's Egg from the Duncan Egg stories. Yes, the series of other stories that George R. R. Martin has done.
Got you.
These like short stories called Duncan Egg, following Sir Duncan the Tall and Aegon Targaryen.
Got you.
And it's Duncan Egg. and Aegon ends up becoming king. And he was Aegon the Unlikely.
Yeah.
And Maester Aemon's brother.
Got you.
Yeah, so it's just like... If
of his like backstory.
Yep, which is just kind of like interesting because I don't know that because I haven't read those,
and like the crazy like lineages and stuff, like the stuff that happens, you know.
Yeah, I think that the Duncan Egg stories, from what I understand, are in some ways a little bit more sort of traditional. Like,
got you, like fantasy.
Yeah, because I think that like Sir Duncan is just kind of like a good dude.
Got you. Yeah.
You know, the just kind of like. He's a good dude trying to do good. I haven't read them, but I think the thing with Sir Duncan is that it's like because like he was in some way like with this other knight, and it's like left unclear whether or not that guy ever actually knighted Sir Duncan, or if he's just going around saying that he's a knight and just like being a knight and doing these things and like helping people.
Got you.
And so it's like it's a little bit more sort of traditional in the sense of it's like, oh, he's like a knight, but like maybe not really. He's just kind of like a regular
like
dude.
Hero guy, yeah.
Yep, and so it's like it's interesting. I'd be curious to like read those because I hear that they're good.
Yeah.
But there's like short stories, and also he's not finished those either. I'm pretty sure.
That's funny.
Yep. But I'd definitely be like curious to like read them sometime since they're one of the things since like I haven't read them. I haven't read all of the like extended you know, like Game of Thrones stuff. But I do know about those because videos will like talk about them when talking about like history and lore and stuff. So it's just a fun little detail. Yeah. Aegon the Fifth, Aegon the Unlikely. And so they're talking about that. Oh yeah, at one point it says king, and then the Ravens saying king over and over again. Yeah. He likes that word. An easy word to say, an easy word to like. King. I think he means for you to have a crown, my lord. Yeah.
He's like, what do I do with one up here? Nah.
Yeah, Rome's got 3 kings already. He's like, hey, why are you telling me all this stuff about Maester Aemon? He's like, do I have to have a reason? Okay, fine. Well, the shit about your brother, dude. how do you feel about the shit with your brother? Right. And I think it's interesting. Lord's one thing, king's another. They will garb your brother Robb in silks, satins, and velvets of 100 different colors, while you live and die in black ring mail. And he's just sort of like going on about it's like, are you okay with this?
Yeah. He basically says that everything Jon was kind of already thinking, but it's just like, no, I'm gonna straight up say it. Like, I'm gonna confront you with this. Yep. I'm certain you're already thinking it,
Yep. Jon drew himself up, towards the bowstring. And if it did trouble me, what might I do, bastard as I am? What will you do, bastard as you are? Be troubled and keep my vows. Yeah. Which is fun. It's like, it's an immediate sort of contrast here at the beginning of this book versus the end of last book.
Right. Where he's really doubling down.
Yep.
Tripling down.
Yep, exactly. It's like in the last book he ran away, and we get at the start of this book this sort of reaffirming of it a few times over.
Right. Which is very interesting to me because I feel like I know some vague spoilers of like where his story goes, and I feel like he does kind of leave for the lady.
For the lady?
Yeah. I feel like I remember seeing her on TV. Like, I feel like I saw a lot of gifs of them, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of a hard one not to... So I feel like that's a thing.
Right.
Because they're going past the wall, they're going around wildling areas. So, like, you just need to know that this is on my mind coming into this arc. Like, I am thinking about it.
Do you remember, like, a name or anything?
I thought it was, like... Because, like, I combine it with, like, what's her name? Asha or Osha or whatever?
Osha.
I feel like it's, like Ashy or Ashi or, like, something like that. Like, I thought it was, like, a similar name.
Like a similar name?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I, like, can see her from the TV show in my head. Like, the red hair and the, you know.
Yeah.
This is, like, what, like, the you-know-nothing?
Yeah. Yep, you-know-nothing Jon Snow.
Like, you know, like, it's just so, like...
I can't remember that, like, actress's name at this point.
Yeah.
But,
like... So I feel like that's something that, like, happens. I don't really know what happens with that story.
Right. Like, you know, what are the circumstances that lead them to, you know, doing the things that they do.
Right. But I don't even fully know, like, what they do. Like, if he, like, fully leaves or if he's, like, I really don't know. But it's just, like, I have ideas and some, you know.
Yep, just, like, these vague floating ideas, like, how does it connect? Yeah. What does it all mean? And I'm like...
Just being around online for, like, you know.
Oh, yeah. Because it's like, because, man, that show was around for so long.
Yeah.
And,
I think it was coming out, like, when I was in high school and
like,
stuff.
It came out, like, earlier than I always, like, think. It's like, oh, yeah, that was, like... While like I was
early
still
high school.
Yep, exactly. And so I'm like, oh yeah, that has been just like around for like ever, and you just see like memes all over the place of fucking.
Oh yeah.
Winter is coming. You know nothing, Jon Snow. All that jazz.
Oh yeah.
But
so like I'm excited to see because like he is doing that like double triple down and stuff, but like is he just like putting you know like. Okay, well, I have to double down, triple down. And so he's, like, forcing himself to. And, like, what will that, like, kind of cause him to do in the future? And, like, will that, like, make him have a harder time leaving? Or, like, will he... I don't know. There's just a lot.
Because also it's, like, he's not been... Like, he's been tested in one way.
Yes,
with, with, like, temptation to, like, leave. But he also hasn't, like, done the job enough to sort of be, like... tested in that sense.
That, and he's been tested with, like, family relationships and stuff, and those relationships were very complicated.
Yes.
He loves his family dearly, but he, like, there was always Catelyn there. There was always the, just, like...
The whole, they're not, like, you know, I'm a bastard of it all.
Right.
You know?
So then once he finds a relationship that, like, someone who, like, he can, like, trust more and, like, can really fully, like...
Someone who he doesn't have that sort of old connection, but, like, a new connection.
Right. And, like, understanding, like, a kind of, like, even a real friendship. Like, he has his, like, brothers and stuff, but there was still always a separation of they're, like, gonna be lords and I'm the bastard. And, you know, like, he's not really had any...
sort of like normal relationships in a way.
And then he comes to the like
the wall,
which he
like,
has some like with his friends there and stuff, but like they're all okay, well this is my new family, my new brotherhood. So then it's a kind of new complex relationship here that's like we have to be close in a family because we are
like
we
working
need to be
together
harsh.
And living together and
and like but we also need to be like harsh and ready for winter and the wall and like stuff like that. So there's still these walls up in those relationships.
It's like these are my friends, but they're also kind of like my coworkers, and also we sort of like are brothers in this like, you know, what comes to mind is cult, but that's not the right word. They're not exactly in a cult, but
spiritual though.
Yes,
like they have like
they're like monks, you know. They're in like a monastic brotherhood. Even down to like the celibacy. Except it's like, but it's still a different sort of a thing. Right. You know, it's like.
So then, like, once he's tested with, like, just a real relationship, like, you know, like, of any sort, like, that, like...
One that doesn't come with some sort of baggage of, like, well, I have to be close to these people because they're my brothers on the wall, and I need to try and foster that relationship. You know, it's just, like, someone who's purely just, like... Hey, I just, like, this is how I just like you. I just like you.
Yep. I just, you know, like, he really doesn't have that.
Separated from, like, a family thing. Separated from, like, you know, the wall and, like, the obligations. Because it's, like, I also have an obligation to these people because of this whole,
both to his family and then to the wall and you know.
Someone who's like, no, you're not like obligated to me in any of those ways, but we just have a relationship. So that's like, you know, a very different thing. And he's also kind of been warned about that, but like he hasn't been tested in that because like they've talked to him like, you know, they're like maybe you should try like having a relationship beforehand. It's like there was like how about you go father some bastards of your own before you like make that decision? And it's like it feels a little like, you know, he feels like whatever about it, but when you think about it, it's like no, you should actually like know what you're giving up. Like you've not experienced just like a loving.
But he can't really know because he hasn't, you know, and you
don't know what you don't know.
And then he also has a bit of like, you know, I gotta be what like Ned wants me to be and like what I should, you know, like so then like he's got the kind of those expectations and what like is okay from like Ned. And
he's like, well, my uncle is doing this, and so it's like, and he's cool, and I like him, and you know,
it's all very interesting. So I'm interested to see like kind of
where it goes. Oh yeah, it, you know, Jon's got a lot going on in a way that's very fun, and it is interesting because it's like George R. R. Martin has said that like it's like Aragorn was most interesting when he was a ranger. Before he was like secret prince shit going on, and so like seeing like Ranger Jon Snow like exploring this like dark, moody ranger character through Jon Snow and sort of committing to like exploring that aspect, like who are the other rangers that like Aragorn was like doing this with or whatever, you know.
What does that look like?
You know, it's like I feel like this sort of thinking about the world in that way is a lot of what like George is like trying to do and trying to like, you know, his sort of take on Tolkien. Like both him and Robert Jordan responding to Tolkien are like, what about the rest of the world? Really getting into the world, but they just like focus on different things. Which is, you know, the fun of reading the different series and having different authors sort of like interpretations of like Tolkien and what they want to do with it, what they want to see out of it, you know.
It's so fun getting all those different kind of
and it's also interesting, I feel, the difference between George and Jordan in terms of like Robert Jordan fought in a war and George R. R. Martin was a conscientious objector to the war.
Right.
Like, so they're both anti-war, but in just like different ways.
Right.
Because Robert Jordan has been there, and you can feel it reading those books.
There are some very
which is so interesting. Because it's like we have been in some battles, but it feels different. It feels different being in the battles here than being in the battles.
We've only really had really seen kind of one. Like with like Tyrion. It was pretty short. We like saw a little bit of it, some tactics, and then we kind of cut away. Robert Jordan, he likes to do the chaos, the, like...
Because, like, there is chaos with, like, Tyrion's fight and a little bit of, like, confusion, but, like, it's so hard to follow what's going on in, like, a Robert Jordan fight, and very intentionally so.
Yeah. It breaks down to, like, smells and, like,
it's
like
just,
some
like,
sounds.
moving,
and,
running, chasing, lashing out, doing this, but, like, it's more, like, described. There's more detail in what George is doing because it's, like, evoking this scene rather than Jordan who's like, no, combat is just a blur.
It's
just a blur of things happening.
And then they'll, like, kind of come out of it and be like, wait, like, kind of what happened? And, like, you know, it's very, like, it feels very, like, visceral and stuff a lot of times, but, like, also, like, confusing and,
Yep. And and boy howdy, we're fucking back when it comes to, like, getting your daily dose of Wheel of Time.
Yes.
Like,
oh yeah, we will be talking. Well, yeah.
In terms of, like, and now your, you know, our required mention of Wheel of Time.
You should continue to read because you're like
I do.
You're definitely right before, like, a lot. Like,
yes. I was listening to the audiobooks on YouTube and then the videos got like privated or whatever, which makes sense because, you know, it's bootlegs or whatever. But it's just like, oh man, it was so easy to listen to them that way, and I'll have to listen to them on like a jankier website or something, you know, which I have done before. But
but it's like because you like just finished like the slog basically, and you're right at the start of just like a lot.
The book that starts with like an extra long prologue.
Yeah. There's some straight up 3 or 3.5 hour long prologues, like audiobook, just like straight up. It's like, how is this one chapter, let alone like a prologue? You know, like it's.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it. Like...
Yeah. You should read Wheel of Time. If you haven't read Wheel of Time, read Wheel of Time. It's weird and fun and cool.
Oh, yeah. It's so weird, but it's great.
And...
There's so much spanking.
There's so much spanking.
There's like, I don't think if you've never read Wheel of Time, I don't think... like, if you've seen the show, you don't understand. You don't understand.
There's not nearly enough spanking in that show for it to truly be Wheel of Time. Like, a big part of Wheel of Time's identity is that they're just fucking spanking constantly. The amount of, like, nudity and spanking in Wheel of Time.
A lot.
And that's the thing. It's like, people are like, adapting Game of Thrones has all this, like, sex and nudity.
Yeah.
And there's, like, no like, visible sex in Wheel of Time. It's all fade to black.
Well, sometimes it's all fade to black. No,
it's all fade to black in Wheel of Time. There's no like visible sex.
But
there is fucking a lot of nudity. And
a lot of spanking.
There's so much spanking. And it's one of those things where it's like, at one time, that was just like a normal punishment, even like in schools and stuff. But George R.R. Martin does not have like we've had like Arya get spanked like once by that guy.
It is not in the way that it happens consistently in Wheel of Time.
It's like a go-to threat for characters.
Oh yeah.
They're always threatening to spank each other.
And doing it.
And then actually doing it.
Like, all the time.
And then...
Starting from book 1.
Yeah. I feel... Yeah.
Like, it's not as much in book 1 as, like, it can be sometimes. And then it, like, drops off a little bit. But it is always there.
It's one of those things where it's like... I remember you, like, talking about that, like, at work and stuff. And then, like, listening to the book, and I'm like, yeah, I guess. And
we
then,
have, like, a mini book club, basically, talking about Wheel of Time, like, all the time.
And then as it goes on, you just, like, keep noticing it.
It's just, like, you just can't not. Like, there's just...
And then there's,
it's
like...
such a big part.
The one that gets me is just that, like... Because, like, I don't want to, like, you know, make this, like, the Wheel of Time podcast and also, like, you know, spoilers and what counts as a spoiler and also, but, like, this, like...
We also don't want to scare you off because it is legitimately a good series.
Because the thing is, like, there's this part where, like, a character is, like, with these other people and there's, like, this cultural thing where it's, like, you... like lied to us about this thing and so like it's gonna be like this punishment and so it's just these older women and this like one woman who's like younger but not like 20s. Young like 20s and they're just like spanking her
for like a long time
and they're like all naked. They're all naked and they're like spanking her and but it's like
it's a super emotional
and it's like, but it's all it's like an emotional scene and also it's about like because of the way, like, they have this thing in their culture of, like, honor and obligation, and it's like, only you get to decide when your obligation
is, like, met.
And so, like, once you feel that you've served the penance, then we'll stop spanking you. And so, like, there's almost, like, actually, like the BDSM almost, like, angle of it, like...
It's, like, there.
It's, like, there, and, like, fits with, like, the themes and emotions going on.
Yeah.
And it's, like, the spanking is, like, in some ways you can try and be like, oh, it's just normal... But then otherwise, like, no, it's kind of kinky, but also the kinky aspect of it kind of even, like... Fits in places. It's, like, it's crazy.
It's, like, it has such a weird, like, unique vibe. I've never seen it in anything else, like...
And it's one of those things where it's also, like... There's, like, just, like, lesbians. Scattered throughout. And just no gay men.
No.
And it's like...
There's like a fair amount of lesbians.
There's like a fair amount of lesbians.
And you could read even more, like...
lesbianism into it if you want to.
Exactly.
And also there's like polyamory.
Yeah.
And it's like...
And a bunch of gender shit.
But
obviously
and some of it lands and some of it doesn't.
And 90s and, you know, like...
It wasn't even in the 80s.
No, it was in the 90s.
It was
mostly.
all like 90s and 2000s, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's so wild. It's just like such a wild... time because it's like it's doing gender shit and some of it I feel like lands and some of it really doesn't land,
but it is interesting. It is at least interesting to talk about and read and stuff like that.
And I feel like Game of Thrones also has like gender shit that like some of it lands and some of it does not.
Yeah.
It's like we're trying to comment on like sexism and gender and stuff, and sometimes we hit it and sometimes we don't.
And he like plays less with like gender roles. He's not. He's less interested in it. Like Robert Jordan and like in like Wheel of Time, that was just something he was obviously interested in, and like is a big part of the story. And this is less like kind of playing with gender roles and more like talking about them. Like less. I don't know. Less like trying to pick them apart, because like Robert Jordan doesn't necessarily do the best at it, but you can feel he tries to pick it apart. But I feel like Martin tends to like he's not trying to like flip like gender roles or like that much, or it's trying to like play with it all that much. He is talking about it in a like
where it's like the gender roles in the story very much reflect a sort of like traditional gender roles kind of thing, and like the way that people talk about them now, but also the way they kind of were back then. And so he's more commenting on sexism as it exists rather than trying to like highlight it by like flipping things around in an interesting way. Because it's like Robert Jordan does do more stuff where it's like having
he's like trying to flip things,
trying to like flip certain things, and you know maybe like highlight things by like showing stuff in that way. While like I feel like while misogyny exists in Wheel of Time, misogyny is more of like a thing that like overtly like exists in Game of Thrones. Where it's like overtly there is misogyny and the characters like see it and like experience it, and it's like very like entrenched.
And we'll talk about that next chapter in Catelyn's chapter, actually.
And while in like Wheel of Time, it's like depending on where you go, feelings on gender are a little bit more like different and varied.
There could be a more misogynistic culture or less or whatever. But then and like then also, the author's like just like his own cultural upbringing does seep through sometimes. It just does. And it's so funny because it's like what Wheel of Time considers misogyny is interesting. This has just turned into a Wheel of Time podcast.
It has.
But like,
cause, like
there is a lot of things to talk about between the two things, you know.
Right. I just always remember that one guy in Wheel of Time, how they had that one boat captain guy who was like a real misogynist though.
Yes.
This guy, like,
this guy actually just like hates women.
This guy, like,
he just says he hates women. He refuses to look at them. He like
he's like all problems originate from women, and all this sort of shit. And it's like, yes, that is true, and that is a real guy, but also all the casual misogyny that like also happens.
Exactly.
Is just like kind of like, you know. Because all the women are, like, casually misandristic as well.
Yes.
Everyone's just kind of like, women, am I right?
Exactly.
Men, am I right? In a way that's like, and that's equality. We all just...
Yeah.
But this guy's, like, actually a misogynist. And these people...
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that crazy? And these women, like, actually hate men. Yes. Isn't that, like, crazy? Yeah. It's so funny.
It really is.
And this one woman's a rapist. Isn't that hilarious?
And we're gonna send a character that we love to them.
Yep. And they're gonna have, like, a nice little moment there at the end where they're like, care about each other?
And we're not gonna condemn the character who fucking sold him to a rapist.
Yeah.
Like, magically forced him to... Anyway.
Yeah. Oh.
We were probably talking about different scenarios.
We were talking about two different women who are rapists in Wheel of Time. See, Wheel of Time says true equality. These women can be rapists. You thought, like, men can be rapists, but also equality. Right. Diversity win. Right. These women are also rapists.
You're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, because, yeah.
We both figured out.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Wild book series. Because we do still recommend it.
We do still recommend it. That's the thing. It's like, even though it has its problems, it's just like, it's such a...
And I will tell you, there's a lot to talk about. Mm-hmm. Like, I spent weeks and weeks and weeks every day talking at lunch with, like, my friends, like, yelling about Tylen or, you know, whatever. Like, there's a lot to talk about.
Yep.
And we just went on a huge tangent.
We
should probably come back to Game of Thrones.
We should, because that's the end of this chapter. This was supposed to be a Jon chapter, I think.
We should maybe, like, mark this as, like, talking about Game of Thrones versus Wheel of Time and, like, themes. I don't know, some sort of chapter title. I don't know.
Right,
something.
Yeah. Our the podcast within the podcast where we talk about Wheel of Time.
Right. Because we do so much in Game of Thrones, because we're comparing
we do.
Know, like, the two authors and stuff like that.
Shout out to My Brother, and Me. Because there's a bit in My Brother, and Me that Justin does, Munch Squad, where he talks about, like, just crazy, stupid, like, food press releases and stuff.
Right. It's a podcast and a podcast.
Yes, like the podcast within a podcast where we talk about the latest and what I forget exactly how it goes, but it's the podcast within the podcast where we talk about, and so that was anyway. That was Jon's chapter.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else to say about Jon?
Nope. I'll have plenty more to say next chapter.
Alrighty. All right, and now Catelyn.
Yeah, it's super interesting chapter. Because we get to check in on Robb and how he is taking the whole being a king thing.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. Like, because, like, I didn't remember or really, like, I don't really have any, like, vibes or thoughts, like, coming into the series of, like, how he is...
As a king as a person even, really.
Right. So I'm... interested because I mean, you can see how Joffrey's made. Yeah. You know, like, and it, like, sucks comparing him to Joffrey, but like, you have to. Yeah. Because, like,
they're both these, like, boy kings.
Yep. And, like, Joffrey, like, just turned 13 and, like, Robb is about, like, what, 15?
Yeah, it's like 15
so
or
it's about
something.
3-year difference, which, like, at that age can be a lot, but also, you know, it's like about a sibling distance, you know, just like like, it's not that much. Yeah. And, like, Joffrey was raised knowing that he was going to be king. Robb was raised knowing he was going to be a lord, which we've, like, already talked about, like, there's, like, a difference, you know, like, how, like, lords are seen versus kings and stuff like that. Yeah. But, and, like, we've seen, like, how Cersei raised, like, Joffrey and, like, how cruel they are. Like, so, like, we don't have that cruelty from, like, Ned and, like, Catelyn and stuff. But... to be honest, he has seen his mother, like, gravely mistreat his brother. Yep. Like, for how royal he is. You know, like, not fully. Like, there's, like, the more personal... Yeah. But, like, to him, really, like, there is that cruelty and mistreatment that he is, like, kind of grown up seeing as, like, normal. And it's just interesting. Yeah. And, like, we'll get in more to, like, how he's treating the people, like, around him and stuff, and how he starts to treat Catelyn. Yeah. Kind of in a similar way to the way that Joffrey, like, immediately started treating Cersei, and it's again like that, like more misogyny and stuff like that. Yeah, we'll get into more of that as we go through the chapter. I've already had my rant because this chapter is interesting.
No, you're good. I mean, you're getting sort of right to it. Yeah, because it's the chapter starts because we're in Catelyn's perspective and we're seeing Robb, because we're always seeing Robb. We're not
which is also a really interesting choice, and I really like it.
I also really like that.
I selfishly want to see in his head.
Yeah.
But I feel like that messes with it, thematically. Do we get Joffrey inside of Joffrey's head?
We certainly haven't. Do you want to know whether or not we get inside Joffrey's head? I kind of
do.
I don't think we ever do get in Joffrey's head.
See, that's very interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because that's another, both, and we do get Cersei point of views, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, we do get Cersei point of views.
That's also very interesting. We get the point of view from the mother who raised the, boy king.
Yeah.
You know?
But not from the perspective of the boy king himself.
Right, and then we also see Joffrey from Sansa's point of view, and stuff like that. That is actually interesting, because, you hear a lot, he's kind of criticized, I feel for, female characters, sometimes, just, with, you know, just, I don't know, sexual assault, a lot of stuff in his books, right? But it's also interesting, how many, of these characters that we only see from, the women around them, their perspective of them, which is just interesting. Yeah, that's just a whole nother tangent. I'm sorry, I'm
no, you're good, because it's
this section's been super interesting to me.
Yes, I agree, because it's they're interesting books. I feel the first book, because it's he had this plan. Yeah. He had this idea, and he's a gardener. Yeah. He is not an architect. Yeah. But I feel the first book feels the most sort of tight. Yeah. Plot wise, and everything really fits together in this way. But then it continues to sort of grow. Yeah.
It is always moving in a kind of way that's a bit different. This is kind of stopping and focusing on characters a bit more.
And so it's as it sort of grows out throughout the series and expands, and we're just sort of you just spend so much time with these people.
Yeah.
You know? You spend so much time with them, and you're in their heads so much that it's just I don't know. He's very much interested, because there's this talk about how he portrays women, and but it's there's just so many women.
There is, yep.
In this story, yeah. And they run the gamut of morality and things like that. You know, brave, coward, good, bad, all this sort of stuff. Because the interesting thing is that we do get the perspective of one child ruler, in a sense, because we're in Dany's perspective.
Right. Yes.
and so it's we get the one sort of you know, it's Girl King.
Yep. But also we had her perspective. We never had a Varys, or not Varys.
A Drogo perspective.
Sorry, Viserys.
Oh, Viserys perspective. Yeah.
So he was also raised
Yep, because he's king. Yes. Because he's, you know, the beggar king.
So we had her view of him.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yep. And now she's going off to
it's her. Yep.
to do her own thing and to lead this Khalasar and stuff. Yep. But we also haven't because I don't think we've gone back to her. No. Have we? No. Yeah.
We just see the ominous comet. So her kind of shadow is throughout this whole thing, because we kind of know
because we first see it at the end of the last book with her because she's the first person who sees it. It's she's looking for a sign for this thing.
And the first one that kind of claims it as her sign, you know.
Yep. And so it's interesting.
Yep.
But Catelyn, we're in a Catelyn chapter.
Yep.
And she's looking at Robb and seeing how looking at the crown doesn't fit him. You know, the
crown.
The symbolism about that.
I love the crown. Freshly forged. It's basically it reminds me of the Iron Throne, which is so interesting.
Yeah.
That they forged a crown that's so kind of reminiscent of the Iron Throne, because they're trying. They want their own legitimacy outside of
of the Iron Throne,
right? But they're still kind of using the symbolism in a way that's kind of interesting,
right? Because it's they're they're trying to base it off of what the old you know, it's like the ancient crown of the kings of winter had been lost 3 centuries ago.
But they don't know what it looks like.
Yeah.
And they do know what the Iron Throne looks like.
Right.
And so it's like, they know it's like, oh, it's like these swords, like, forged together on a crown.
Yeah.
And so, like, God, it's just interesting.
Yep, because like the crown was lost 3 centuries ago, yielded up to Aegon the Conqueror. Right. So it's like that crown, like
practically melted into the throne. You
right,
know,
exactly.
like...
you know, and you know, it's like Robb's crown.
It's also very crown of thorns. I was like thinking of a bit.
Yeah,
it's not like it's not talking about like it prickling into him in the way, but like it is not setting right.
It's not setting right, and it's like the swords and whatnot. Yeah. Robb's crown looked much as the other was said to have looked in the tales. An open circlet of hammered bronze, incised with the runes of the first men, surmounted by 9 black iron spikes wrought in the shape of long swords. Of gold and silver and gemstones, it had none. Bronze and iron were the metals of winter, dark and strong to fight against the cold. which I just think is interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's like the whole thing about like fairies and iron and stuff like that. So I feel like there's a certain like magical quality that this old crown was like supposed to have, like with like runes and like iron.
Yeah, but like they don't like what runes do they put on it? Like,
right.
They don't know they don't have a like
it's
that
like
connection.
Right, because it's like we know that there was like a knight in the tourney who was like from he had like runes in his like sword and armor and stuff, and he had like bronze or whatever. So like there's some sense that some of the stuff has been passed down, but you still don't know, but it's not gone into like detail, which I would love to get detail on because of the linguistics.
Yeah.
But it's just sort of like, oh yeah, we carved some like ancient runes in there. And it's like, yeah, but do you know which runes were the ones that were in the crown? You know?
Exactly.
It's like people, it's like modern pagans.
Yeah.
Who are like
kind of
try, you know, it's like you are not doing what the ancient Greeks were doing when you were like worshiping the Greek gods today. You come at it with your own modern idea of what religion is. You like pray to them in a way that's like different and whatnot. And it's like, you know, we know that like, oh, the Starks keep the old gods and whatnot, but there's still like, you've been in this culture for so long,
influenced by,
like,
you know,
been influenced by it. So it's like, how much of that's still like, you know, stance that crown is gone. And there's like descriptions of it, but like you can't know exactly what it looked like, you know. And so it's just it's interesting trying to sort of like reach back and like, you know, claim this like independence or whatever.
Just like trying to look for like legitimacy and stuff.
Yep. Which you know, it mirrors a lot of like real political stuff where you try and like harken back to like this certain like idea of like history and like a shared history and like legitimacy through that, you know. It is no easy thing to wear a crown, especially for a boy of 15 years. And so there's this guy who they're calling a Lannister, but he's like, sir, man, I don't know. This guy's like not super important. Oh yeah, this is Cleos Frey, was a son of Lady Genna, who is sister to Lord Tywin Lannister. Right,
and it's one of the Freys that didn't help, and so they're like pissed off about that.
Yes, because it's like, you didn't fight on our side, you went and fought on the Lannister side. And so he's been like taken captive, and they're like, we're going to have you go deliver this message for us. But also it's interesting, because we get Jenna or Genna, depending on how you want to pronounce that, Genna, and that's Tywin's sister.
Got you.
Because
I don't think...
son of the Lady Genna, who was sister to Lord Tywin Lannister. So this is like...
Got you, okay.
So this would be like Tywin's fucking nephew or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's like just sort of more of like Tywin's like immediate family and stuff. And so it's like, you know, remember this name perhaps.
Yeah, and because he's like, he sends like, give him this message, and then you have to like come back.
Yes, because you're still a prisoner.
And like everyone's heard you or whatever.
Yeah, because you swore that you would go and then come back, and you know. But it's like, go deliver a piece off, this offer of peace.
Which Catelyn doesn't think that they're gonna accept, and Robb doesn't even really either.
No.
Which, we'll get to some of the details, because it's interesting.
Yeah, and it's like, there's something interesting because like going through this peace offering, what is the message? An offer of peace. In the back of the hall, Catelyn glimpsed the tall, gaunt figure of Lord Rickard Karstark, shoved through a rank of guards and out the door. He is not happy.
Yeah.
Karstark is one of these, like, bigger guys amongst...
And, like, some of his family got, like, killed in some of this, and he's, like, he does not want to go for peace at all.
Yep, and so he's, like, not happy about this and is, like, storming out. First, the Queen must release my sisters and provide them with transport by sea from King's Landing to White Harbor. It is to be understood that Sansa's betrothal to Joffrey Baratheon is at an end. Yeah. I release the Queen's cousin, the Squire Willem Lannister, and your brother, Tion Frey.
Which immediately Cersei would see as an insult.
Yeah.
That's an immediate insult.
Yeah.
That, especially as the first thing I want both my sisters for, like...
Just like some random, like, cousins.
That's an insult, and he knows it.
Yeah. Yep. It's like, yeah, here's
and,
some of the Queen's, like, cousins or whatever.
Shitty, like, using your sisters as, like, a kind of, like, insult, like, that way, and he, like, is kind of trying to, like, justify it, and it's, yeah.
Yeah. Secondly, my Lord Father's bones will be returned to me. The thing about the bones gets Catelyn thinking about, you know, living men had gone south and cold bones would return. Ned had the truth of it, she thought. His place was at Winterfell. He said as much. But would I hear him? No. Go, I told him. You must be Robert's hand for the good of our house, for the sake of our children. My doing, mine, no other.
Yeah.
So she's feeling real guilty about how, and it's like, that bit, I'm like, I don't blame Catelyn for that. Yeah. In terms of, like...
Yeah.
You know, it's like...
Couldn't have known.
She couldn't have known.
Yeah.
It's like... It's the later stuff that really I'm like, Catelyn, you should have known better. But that one, it's like...
At that point, like, you wanted to, like, your family to be in a better position. Like, this is, like, how it goes, you know. Makes perfect sense.
And it's like, it's like, you know, Robert is his friend. And it's like, I know that it's kind of dangerous over there, but also...
like, it's, like, a big position. It could do really good things for us, you know. Like, yeah.
But it's understandable for her to feel so, like, guilty about it now after the fact. Third,
because it is like the start of it, technically, you know?
Right, exactly. It's like, you know, thinking back, like, if I had just done this different, you know? Yeah. Third, my father's greatsword Ice is to be delivered to my hand here at Riverrun.
And that is an insult to Joffrey.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Because also it's like, for some
because he had him killed with ice, and there was the whole thing that he, like...
Yeah.
Joffrey was the one putting emphasis on...
Right.
On
like,
ice.
killing him. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So to me, that's
like an insult to Joffrey. Yeah. And it's also because it's like, you know, with the whole sisters, like, you give me my sisters, I give you these things. But for, like, Ice, it's just like, no, that's just mine.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Yeah.
No trade deal.
Yeah.
Trade deal. You give me my father's sword, I give you fuck all. It's my father's sword. Give it to me. Right. And I'm like, I mean fair, yes, but also, you know. Fourth, the Queen will command her father.
And I'm not blaming him too much. Like,
right.
Like, you know.
Yeah, and like we'll get into it, his sort of like why he's kind of like doing it this way and stuff. But essentially,
I will be mad at him about his sisters. But we'll get to it.
Yeah. Fourth, the Queen will command her father, Lord Tywin, to release those knights and Lord Bannerman of mine they took captive. Once he does so, I shall release my own captives, and we're gonna, like, keep sort of releasing people back and forth.
Minus Jaime. We're keeping Jaime no matter what.
Yes.
Which, again, another insult.
Yeah, who remained my hostage for his father's good behavior. So it's like, you know, I'm gonna...
Which, like, I get it, too. Like, you want, you know...
Yes, like, no, I'm holding on to Jaime until this is all, like, settled, because it's like, he's got to be the last bit, because as soon as I give you Jaime back, that's...
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Like, this is a, like, main thing that we kind of have over you.
Which then Catelyn pokes at him a bit with that as well, which is interesting.
Yep.
She's like, oh, you're just afraid of him. You know, you just don't want him out on the battlefield again. You don't beat him next time.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Yeah, poking at him.
Yeah. Which is like... That is honestly probably a big part of it. Like, he caught him off guard. He was massively underestimated by both Tywin and...
so you only get that once.
Yep. And then now he's got to go against someone who is known to be, like...
good at this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like...
Yeah, he's got his little cult of, you know, his little cult almost.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, Jaime... I wanted to say Tywin. All I wanted to say was Tywin, but I was like, no, Jaime. Jaime is known for being a good fighter. He's also, like, militarily, like, Tywin is the better, like, strategist.
Yeah. But like, Jaime is competent enough.
Yes. It's like, you're not gonna pull this on Jaime twice, for sure.
Like, and he definitely has more experience than Robb.
Like Jaime was being reckless, but if Jaime gets serious, it's gonna be it's just gonna be a different story. Yeah.
But it is interesting that Catelyn kind of pokes him on that. Yeah. And he's a bit offended.
We get a brief moment where Catelyn reminds us that Theon Greyjoy exists and is shady. Yep. Lastly, King Joffrey.
Yeah, and of course that's what they're sending him off because Robb really trusts him because like they've grown up together and blah blah blah. So he's sending him back to his family to like send a message and like help and stuff.
Yeah, to go be like, hey, you guys should like help. Yeah,
which
yeah, it's like
I'm glad he trusts him, I guess.
I'm glad he trusts him.
I'm not glad he trusts him, actually.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Lastly, King Joffrey and the Queen Regent must renounce all claims to dominion over the North. Henceforth, we are no part of their realm, but a free and independent kingdom as of old. The King in the North!
Yeah.
Boomed great Jon Umber.
Yeah, another thing that they're not gonna get.
No, it's just like... It's because it is funny because like when you think about this peace offering, it really is. It's not a peace offering, and it's also literally just like the only actual like. I mean, we have a bunch of like your random cousins.
Yeah.
But mainly we have Jaime,
and we're not giving him to you.
This
is not part of like this agreement. Is saying we're not giving him to you.
Yep. Yeah. And and then there's also like we're gonna write you up a map on like where the borders are, and also where we're gonna like trade hostages back and forth over the course of like some years.
Yeah.
To sort of like keep the peace for a little bit. Where it's just like, and every so and so months or whatever,
like release like one.
We'll release some more like hostages to you. So it's just like trying to like, and it's just like, man. I mean, like I'm sure given George R. R. Martin's like love of history something like this has precedent, but also it's just like, man, this is a bad offer. Yeah, and you know it because you don't want them.
Yeah, well, because they talk about it. They're like that's a pretty harsh offer or whatever. And he's like, any sweeter and I'd like gag or something like that.
Yeah.
And he does not want to budge on any of it. Because then that's when they talk about like the whole deal with his sisters.
Yeah.
And it's because like Catelyn's like.
Yep, any sweeter and I would have gagged. You're correct.
Yeah, because I thought that line was
good.
Yep.
I might have been able to trade the Kingslayer for father, but not for the girls. Her voice was icy quiet. Girls are not important enough, are they? Robb made no answer, but there was hurt in his eyes.
The thing is Ned would have, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, kind of something that I wanted to talk about. Because, like, he has his own, like, issues with misogyny and, like, the worth of his daughters,
Right.
Like Ned did,
Right.
But
he would have made that trade.
He would have made that trade. He was making that like trade for himself, and like people were like kind of advising him against it. Like that was kind of a whole part. Is like he like really does like care for them. And I think Robb has taken the wrong. He wants to be like his father, and like. But doesn't quite know, is, like, influenced by, like, the rest of his culture and stuff like that. And it's, like, doesn't quite see that, And also he, like, Jon was really close with Arya and stuff like that. Like, I don't think he was close in the same way,
Right. It's like, Jon was really close with Arya, but Robb was really close with Jon.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like, I don't think he's ever been, like, super close with his sisters.
Yeah.
And, like...
Because you don't ever really hear them talking about, like, them being
and
together.
Again, he was going to be the Lord. He was going to be in charge, and, like...
And also
he's been kind of pumped up, like, in a similar way, not exactly the same as Joffrey, but, like...
Yep, it's like, it's to a much lesser extent, but it's still just, like, this is the water that we're all swimming in. This is just, like, the culture that permeates. And I think also what's interesting is that, like... him being like king in the north now, and all of the like lords who are like pushing him, and he feels this need very much
harsh too, because the north is harsh, the north is cold, the north,
it's like in order for these especially like as boy king, as like a 15-year-old, I need to be harder than all the rest of these men.
Yeah.
I need to be like more hard and strong and like tough and just like do not bend to their demands. You gotta put up like that hard masculinity like front.
Yep, and then it kind of like comes out in like anger in a like same way. Like he has outbursts in, I don't know, like that type of anger, and like Joffrey has it in like cruelty, but it is also still I don't know, they still have like outbursts and stuff, because like, he has an outburst against his uncle and like stuff like that. He like gets like pretty upset and like snaps at him. And is like snapping at and disregarding his like mom, and like he's basically like, you need to get out of here, like I need to send you away. He doesn't want her around, he doesn't want her counsel, doesn't want to like to also to seem weak, like taking advice from her and stuff like that, you know.
Yep. And because there's also like, there's a little bit earlier where they're talking about I can't release the Kingslayer, not even if I wanted to. My lords would never abide it. Your lords made you their king, and can unmake me just as easy. And so there's like he feels this like that pressure.
And there's was it war that made him grow so fast, or the crown they had put on his head?
Yeah.
And then are you afraid to have Jaime Lannister in the field again? Is that the truth of it? Mm-hmm. And
Grey Wind growled. As if he sensed Rob's anger.
And then, Cat, don't. The boy has the right of this, from Edmure. Don't call me the boy, Rob said, rounding on his uncle, anger spilling out all at once on poor Edmure, who had only meant to support him. I'm almost a man grown and a king, your king, sir, and I don't fear Jaime Lannister. I defeated him once, I'll defeat him again, if I must. Only... and then he goes into, I might have been able to trade.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And so it's just like, you get the sense that like with Joffrey just so believes, I deserve this.
Yes.
Rob.
Yeah. And then it comes out in his in cruelty.
Yes. It's like, and it comes on this cruelty while Rob feels a lot more insecure about it.
I don't deserve this. I've got to put on this like tough. Yeah.
This tough front that like I do deserve it. I have to act like I
And then it also comes out in like the anger that then can turn, I think, quickly into cruelty if that festers, you know.
Right. Because it's just like he's under so much pressure. Yeah. He's under way more pressure than anyone his age should be.
Than Joffrey.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because like he's not in on any of the meetings. Nope. And he's not, like, they're not, they don't want him involved because he is a powder keg and an annoyance and a mess.
Yeah.
You know,
these people, they care about the Starks and they want him.
Yes, he's at every meeting. He has to be like mask on, you know, like king.
Yep.
You know, like the kind of like face on or whatever, including when he's with his family, and you know, like that, like that continues to carry on.
Yep, and that like tears away at you.
And I think because like we haven't seen this book yet, I don't think. Rob. Yeah. Like, because, like, it's mentioned, like, when we see him from, like, Bran's point of view and from Catelyn's point of view sometimes, like, Lord Rob versus Rob.
Yeah.
King Rob versus... We've only, in this book so far, seen King Rob. We don't see him break his mask in this to Catelyn like he has in the past.
Yes, like whenever he was like around Bran and he had to be like Lord Rob, but then go and be with Bran.
And even at the end of last book, he would let his mask down a little bit for Catelyn. Yeah. Not so far in this book.
Nope.
He hasn't at all.
He's been sort of keeping it up the whole time. Yep. Yep, and then we talked about like
sorry, I'm thinking good. More about Catelyn and Cersei or whatever, and
no,
like
good.
Catelyn, I don't know, like Catelyn wanting to be around to like help her son, and Cersei wanting to be around to control her son,
right?
You know, and like to get the power and stuff like that. Yeah, and like Catelyn's unable to like kind of help and like lift him up, and Cersei's unable to kind of take that power from her son that she like set up. It's kind of like these kind of weird
like parallels.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like she wants, because the thing is that like she's like, nope, I'm staying here. My dad's here, and you know, and like I get that. It's like my dad's here, and like I want to be here, like when he passes and whatnot. Yeah. But also it's like Rob's like, go home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go. Yeah. Like there is a sense of like go home because it's like, it's weird having my mom around.
Yeah, but also,
like, Bran and Rickon do need you.
And, like, Winterfell, you know,
and, like, Winterfell,
someone, you know.
Yep. And it's just, like, because she just has not been with them.
Yeah.
Like,
but also, like, I do get, like, Rob also kind of does need her.
Yep.
Like, like, I do, like, she is kind of pulled in, like, a lot of, like, places right now. Like, there is kind of 3 places that really do need her.
Yep. Yep.
You know?
And that's a tough bit, and it's hard to be pulled in that many directions.
Yeah. And honestly, more than that, because, like, Sansa and Arya are also, you know, often, you know, they also kind of need her as well, but it's a different, you know.
Yeah, but it's just like, well, there's certainly no way that I can go do that.
Exactly. But like, these specific, like, kind of 3 choices, staying with her dad, going with her, like, kids to help at Winterfell, and then like sticking with Rob and like helping.
Yep. And so they're gonna be sending Theon to the Iron Islands,
which
to go,
will only end well.
I'm sure.
It's like, because he really does trust him and like view him as like a brother, and view him as a brother and stuff like that. So I'm already ready for the betrayal. Like, I'm fairly certain, you know.
Right. Yep. If the Lannisters won't make peace, I'll have need of Greyjoy's longships. You'll have them sooner if you keep his son as hostage. He's been hostage half his life, for good reason. Balon Greyjoy is not a man to be trusted. He wore a crown himself, remember? If only for a season. He may aspire to wear one again. I will not grudge him that. If I'm king in the north, let him be king of the Iron Islands. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but not everyone only wants to be king of the one area, too.
Yep.
You know? Like, you only have ambitions for your, you know, thing, but...
Right, and also it's like, even if he is like, I want to be king of the Iron Islands, it's like, he might not want to help you, and just like fully just do his own thing, and be like, fuck you, I've got mine, you know?
Yep.
And, you know,
he could, now that he has the hostage back, could just be like, okay, revenge, I will join the Lannisters, you know, like, it's just...
Right.
There's a lot of other factions that they could join to...
There's a lot of ways this could go.
Yeah.
I'll give him a crown gladly so long as he helps us bring down the Lannisters. Rob, I'm sending Theon. Good day, mother. Yeah. Catelyn could only watch him go. Her son and now her king. How queer that felt.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's sad.
I also wonder if that came from someone else and not both, like, either like a mom or like a woman. His mom or a woman is what I meant to say. Like, whether he would have maybe taken it, like, more to heart, like, worried about, like, Theon, you know?
Like, if it came from, like, someone else.
Right. Because, she knows him. Like, I don't think the rest of them really, like know to advise him, like, against it. But, like, if they would have. But, I mean, maybe they did, because, like, I feel like they should know that, like, I don't know, if you have a hostage, you don't, like, and if you've kept them, raised them, but, like, maybe they're like, okay, well, you are brothers, or, like, brothers, and so, like, I trust that relationship, you know?
Okay, because, like, Theon's been there the whole time, and he's been very sort of, like, on Rob's side, and, like, pro, like, let's go fuck him up.
So he could totally have the rest of them kind of fooled, and he has kind of no one, like... able to, like, see that. Like, I'm just wondering if he got that advice from, like, Ned. Well, not Ned. Ned's cheating. Because, like, he would just listen to that. Like, I think, maybe.
Right,
It's hard to say because this all happened because he's dead. So,
right,
you know?
Exactly.
So it's, like, hard to say, like, what would happen in that case.
Ned's ghost shows up and is like, don't do it!
Right, I mean, then he would, like, follow it, you know? Like,
right.
Yeah. Yeah. But, like, from someone else, I'm, like, wondering if he might have... But, like, he snaps at, like, his uncle. So, like, it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah. Yep. And so then that's done with her and Rob. And she's like, all right, I'm going to go see my dad.
Yeah.
And she goes to go do that. Fall. It's autumn. Autumn was always a fearful time with the specter of winter looming ahead. And so she goes to see her dad. Her brother doesn't go to see him, and she's like, you know, in her head, it's like, you know, if he still lives. You know, it's just like, she there's something like, you know, it's a genuine worry, but a bit of it feels a little bit like, you know, being like kind of judgy of him for like not going.
I thought that he went to talk to him.
No, because I'm talking about like Edmure.
Yeah, I thought
her brother, because
they talked about them talking.
It was like, I need to have a word with those new bowmen. I'll visit him later if he still lives. And then whenever she gets there, it's not Edmure who's there. It's it's her dad's brother, so her uncle.
Oh, I guess I miss. Yeah.
Yeah, it's her uncle was there, and that's the one that she has this conversation with.
They had talked before, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Like her brother and the dad.
Yeah. Because he's been like around. Like I think her brother's been like there in River Run. So like he's like, yeah, I see Dad fucking every day.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm back. I'm here.
You're here. But yeah, so she gets there, and Brynden is there. I believe that's the Blackfish. And she's like, "Oh, does Robb know you're here?" It's like, "No, I came straight to see my brother." And they talk about like how he's doing, and he's getting worse and worse. He's becoming like less coherent and less energy, and he's gonna be going soon. You get all that sort of like family sadness going on there. And then they talk about the comment, because everyone's talking about the comment. You can see it by day now. My men call it the Red Messenger, but what is the message? The great Jon told Robb that the old gods have unfurled a red flag of victory, of vengeance for Ned. Edmure thinks it is an omen of victory for Riverrun. He sees a fish with a long tail in the Tully colors, red against blue. I wish I had their faith. Crimson is a Lannister color. That thing's not crimson, not Tully red, the mud red of the river. That's blood up there, child, smeared across the sky. Our blood or theirs? Was there ever a war where only one side bled?
Right.
Yeah. And then they're kind of talking about, like, what the situation is with the war. Just, like, shit's crazy.
Yeah.
Everything's getting fucked up by, like, Tywin's shit. Edmure's pissed about it. He wants to go, like, help and save his people. And it's like, that's exactly what they want him to do. They want, it's like more and more people keep leaving to go back to their homes.
They're losing like some of their swords because they're all going to
protect their sort of like
areas,
because like the small folk are getting attacked, which means that like the farms and their food, it's like they talk about like Tywin stealing all the food and then burning everything else, and so it's just like, which is part of why they're like, we should go attack like right now. Because like
they're talking about like trying to attack Harrenhal maybe,
and it's like certainly Tywin wants you to go attack Harrenhal, so like don't do that. Don't give Tywin what he wants.
But then they're like, we're on a time limit because like this stuff is happening, and also there's another host getting built, another Lannister thing happening.
Yes, it's like they're like bringing reinforcements and stuff. Yep, Tywin Lannister is no man's fool. He sits safe behind the walls of Harrenhal, feeding his host on our harvest and burning what he does not take. Sir Amory Lorch is in the field as well, and some sell swords out of Qohor, who'd sooner maim a man than kill him. I've seen what they leave behind them. It would sicken even the dead. When Edmure hears this, he will rage, and that would be just as Lord Tywin desires. Lannister wants to provoke us to battle. Yep. My first rule of war, Cat: never give the enemy his wish.
Yeah.
Yep, and so then they're like, we get the history of Harrenhal, because we've been hearing Harrenhal mentioned, and
and they built it, and they were there for a day, and then the dragons.
Yep.
They like built this like unpenetrable fortress, and then they're like, well, it's actually they can fly.
Yep, turns out they can fly. It's like, I wanted the biggest, tallest, best castle in the whole land, so much so that I like bankrupted everything else.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
It's just like, because they're all like, that's how they fight. Like they don't have dragons. Like, it's been the whole thing that has dragons around. They're back to regular castles, like that. That's how they're all used to fighting again. And, when they talk about this, like, they weren't ready for dragons,
Yeah. And it's like, well, dragons are back, bitch.
Right. So,
y'all aren't going to be ready when Dany shows up.
Yeah, so it's just,
Yep. Harren had beggared the Riverlands and the Iron Islands alike to ornament his dream. And when at last Harrenhal stood complete, on the very day King Harren took up residence, Aegon the Conqueror had come ashore at King's Landing. So it's just like, uh-oh.
Yep.
Your hubris. Oh, no.
Yep.
You Ozymandias yourself. Yep. And they're like, the men I sent west have brought back word that a new host is gathering at Castle Rock, another Lannister army. Lord Tywin is not the Kingslayer. He will not rush in heedless. He will wait patiently for Sir Stafford to march before he stirs from behind the walls of Harrenhal. Unless... Yes? unless he must leave Harrenhal to face some other threat. Lord Renly. King Renly, perhaps. He'll want something, though. He'll want what kings always want. Homage. So they're like, what if we can convince Renly to go?
And give him some legitimacy, like, ally this way to,
Which is kind of interesting, because I feel like that's a more sophisticated version of kind of what Robb wants to do with the Iron Islands.
Yeah.
Where he's like, fine, if he wants to be king, I'll let him be king so long as he, like, helps me. And so, like, you just have
to do it more diplomatically than just do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and there needs to be an actual diplomatic something. And instead of just sending your only, like,
sort of leverage over them. Like, here's the leverage I had over you, please. Please don't be mad about the fact that we had leverage over you. Appreciate the fact that I'm giving up this leverage and help me out. And it's like, yeah.
And that's a bit of the old Ned naivety.
Yes.
Where he wants...
It's like, but it's the right thing.
The right thing to do, what I would do, because I would do the right thing.
Yeah.
And, like...
Yeah.
Just, like, wanting to see the best in people and wanting to, believe and trust in those relationships, It's a similar kind of, like, brother-type relationship Ned felt that he had with Robb. Like Robert...
Yeah.
Baratheon,
Yep.
And then Robb and Theon. Like, he feels like they're, like, brothers and stuff.
Yep, so that's Catelyn.
Yeah.
Alright.
I think I'm good. I had a lot to say on that one.
Yeah. And now, Tyrion.
Yeah.
And we said that we were going to go to that second Arya chapter, but I think we're probably just going to end it here at the Tyrion one. Yeah,
because there's...
We've been very tangenty on this one. We've gone like a long time and stuff. And the Arya one, there's not like a ton to talk about.
Yeah.
And so it's like
we can put it on to the.
We can just put it on to the next one, and it'll be fine. Yeah. But yeah, Tyrion is having a meal with Janos Slynt. Yeah. The guy who is like the head of the City Watch, the Gold Cloaks, who then became a lord and He's just threatening him.
Yeah, he's threatening him from the start, and that guy does not realize it until like halfway through the conversation, and then he's like, "Oh shit, he's been like getting me drunk and like just pumping information out of me and threatening me, and I just didn't notice because he's not." Like he did not grow up in the game of in the Game of Thrones,
Yep, and he is not Rand al'Thor. He cannot just as a regular person be like bumble his way through somehow. Yeah, because it's like
he doesn't quite even know what it is.
No. And so it's just like, giving him a bunch of wine and stuff.
I think he thinks that he got the position through like maneuvering, like, oh, I'm so special, like I got but he was paid for.
Yeah,
like, and
he was a pawn.
He was, exactly. Yeah. And now Tyrion is like, okay, you got it. Out of here, pawn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have, how many kids do you have?
Like, why do you want to?
It's like, how many? You got 3 kids. And he immediately like shuts up. It's just, it's a wild. Yeah, I don't know. Those conversations.
One thing that was interesting to me, and this is going to be like a bit more of like a technical sort of like writing thing that I kind of like noticed reading this, is just the difference in how, and I mean, it could be partly because he's like drunk and Tyrion's not, but like the difference in how Janos Slynt and Tyrion talk. Yeah. Just from the sense of like, Tyrion, his like sentences are just like more.
It's very purposeful.
They're very purposeful. They're longer. They're more complex. Yeah. While it's like Dornish, quite the fine. Dornish wines are not often so rich. Rich, yes, rich. That's the very word I was searching for. The very word. You have a gift for words, Lord Tyrion, if I might say so. And you tell a droll tale. Droll, yes.
Yeah. He's very out of he's out of sorts. Like this isn't where he's like comfortable. This isn't like the type of speech he's comfortable with. And on the other hand, Tyrion likes to lord his intelligence over other people because it's kind of one of his few like big assets like that. Like one of the things that like really kind of like sets him apart, and one of the few things that he like really can. He's always used that to like talk around people as like his, you know, his weapon. Yeah. You know.
Because it's like one of the sort of like first little, almost kind of a veiled threat or a little, you know, you're a bold man to take Harrenhal for your seat. Such a grim place and huge, costly to maintain, and some say cursed as well. Should I fear a pile of stones? A bold man, you say. You must be bold to rise, as I have. To Harrenhal, yes. And why not? You know, you are a bold man too, I sense. Small, mayhaps, but bold.
Yeah.
And just like...
just these little, like, snipes.
Yep. And just something like, a bold man, you said. You must be bold to rise, as I have. To Harrenhal, yes. And why not? Like, just so many, like, short, little, choppy sentences. Yep. And he does a lot of, like...
He's, like, kind of thinking through, like, the sentence, okay, like, responding to each, okay, I gotta respond to this, yes, to Harrenhal, you know, like...
Yep, he's just, like, a lot more, like, choppy and direct, and the amount that he's, like, you know... yes, rich, you know, the very word, and then, to Harrenhal, yes, like, he just has, like, a different way of speaking, just, like, I don't know, something about it really, like, spoke to me in the reading of it, just sort of, like, the technical writing bit of, like, making characters having distinct voices. He talks so differently from how a lot of these characters who are in this sort of lordly class talk.
Because, like, when you see the conversation between, like, him and Varys, like, they're like, more on the same playing field, and they're, you know, like, Tyrion's talking more, like, close to, like, how he normally does it, but he's, like, just, like, met more with, like, an equal, and, you know.
Yep. And also just the way that, like, Janos is trying to sort of, like, fit, like, yes, just the word that I was trying to think of. Yeah. It's like, bold, yes, bold, I'm bold, you're bold, we're both bold, you know, just, like, trying to, you know, more wine? No, truly gods be damned, yes. Why not? A bold man drinks his fill. It's just, like, he's so easily, like, flattered and just, like, manipulated. Yep. It's just, like, a fun scene to watch.
And he doesn't realize he's being...
manipulated.
Yeah, like, for a while.
Yeah. And they're talking about, like, oh, who should replace you as head of the watch?
Yeah, because he asks, like, under, like, a veil of, like... because he asks, like, who would you recommend?
Yes.
For
the position.
But in actuality, he wants to know who this guy, like, trusts the most, who, like, is the most involved with him and Cersei and stuff like that without arising too much suspicion. Right. Like, I would like a recommendation. Who do you like? Yeah. You know? And then he gets all the people he's connected to without arising, like, suspicion. Which is, like, super fun because, like, I'm trying to think of, like, Ned in this conversation. Like, I think he would go directly to threatening. Yeah. Like, honestly, right to, like, who were you involved with? It's, like, just trying to, like... very directly.
Yep, it's like, I'm gonna be straight with you. I know that you and Cersei did this shit. Who are you working with? And be like, fuck off. No, I'm not gonna tell you.
He wouldn't get any...
wouldn't get anywhere.
Right, any information and, you know, any of that.
Yeah, meanwhile, it's like, yes, I've taken your list and I've... So, like, here are the people that need to be arrested with Janos Flynn.
Exactly.
And it's like, oh, you know, I was considering, Sir, Jacqueline Bywater, and it's like, no, not him. This guy's your guy. He'll do whatever you tell him. Yeah. He'll fucking kill a baby if you tell him to. He's great. Yep. And it's like, Anyway, hey, Sir Bywater, come in and arrest this man. Yep. Just like right away.
Yeah, it's super interesting, and he really does like he cares. He actually cares more about, like, the people than, like, I kind of thought beforehand. Yeah, you know?
There's these interesting bits, because, like, when he talks about, like, killing the baby or whatever, it's like... Yeah. Just, like, talking about, like, just some whore's baby. And it's like, Tyrion hearing only some whore and thinking of Shay and Tysha long ago and all the other women who had taken his coin. Yeah. And just, like, these are some of the people he actually, like, kind of has relationships with, even if they're not, you know, sort of...
It is also, like, interesting, again, because I like comparing him with, like, Ned, is, like, I don't know, he sees them more as, like, people, I feel like, than, like, Ned did. Yeah. You know? Like, I don't know, they just have such interesting...
Yeah.
Like, not that, like, Ned was, like, horrible or cruel, but, like, he definitely, like, looks down on, like...
Like, he'd look down on like, a whore, in a sense,
in a way that, like, Tyrion, like, doesn't.
Right.
Like...
because of the whole, like, honor of it all. And
right. And so then it just, like, ends up, yeah, they're just super interesting.
Because it's like, Ned sort of believes in this kind of, like, idealized version of the system.
Right.
While Tyrion's like, the whole system's kind of bullshit. And so, like, he can kind of care about some people, like, more.
Right.
Like, you know, like, Ned does care about, like, his family. And he cares about, like, the people in an abstract sense. But not, like, the people in the sense of, like, the individuals that he's actually, like... I mean, he does, like, because, like, you know, whenever he goes and he visits... the like bastards that like Robb has and stuff.
Right, because like he does care, but like he cares for that lady because of her connection, and like that kid because of their connection to royalty.
Yeah, like to Robert and stuff.
Right, like not that he doesn't care for them, because like it's like it sounds like I'm being like too like mean to Ned,
right?
Because like Ned does really care. He just like has these blind spots because of like. I don't know, being raised in, like, the nobility in the way that he was. And, like, Tyrion was also raised in that nobility, so he also has his own
like
blinders
and biases.
But he grew up with, like, a lot more explicit, like, like, prejudice and stuff for, like, his, like, disabilities, and, like, he's just, like...
So he has, like, more connection to the sort of, like, downtrodden people, like, you know, the people that, like, the society kind of, like, throws aside.
Right.
And he has more sort of, like, thought for them.
And then, like, a more connection to, like, what justice actually looks like for them.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Ned does the right thing because of a sort of, like, deontological belief in what right and wrong is.
Right.
Tyrion... like cares about the person, and so he like and so he can care about the people and do justice and whatnot, but also other times because he more so cares about people than the system, he can also be like cruel to people who like he doesn't like and stuff like that, and so it's like
and he can also just like he doesn't have those blockages of like of the system like of
it's like because Ned's like, you guys as royalty have a responsibility that you are not living up to, and so like you need to like change and live up to this.
And he really believes in like the kind of monarchy and like the most honorable version of it. Yeah. And like Tyrion doesn't. He just kind of sees it all as corrupt and bullshit, and like is.
Which makes him sort of, like, more correct in a sense.
Right.
And also more able to sort of see the ways in which, like...
And then more able to just lie, steal, and cheat his way to justice. Right. You know? Like, I like his method. Like, his methods for justice are just interesting. They're just, like, very opposite to Ned. Yeah. Ned wanted to do the right thing in the right way, and Tyrion wants to do the right thing in the, quote, wrong way. You know? Yeah. Like, it's...
It's like, I will do what works, not what's right.
Right.
And like, you know, and it's like, and just be like, these people suck. Yeah. These people suck, and just fucking get them out of here. Yeah. It'll do more good for these people to just, like, get these people out of here than to try and,
he's like, and the one guy is so bad, I don't want him on the watch. He needs to get thrown off the boat.
Yes!
He's literally, like, the guy who killed the baby and the, like, lady.
Yep.
Can get thrown off the boat. They shouldn't be allowed in the Night's Watch, which is so interesting because, like, he, in his conversation with Jon, is like, you know, oh, you think the Night's Watch is so noble, so great. Like, they're all, like, rapists and murderers and blah, 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 blah. And then when he goes to send people to the Night's Watch, he comes across this person that's, you know, should be, you know, the rapist. He's not necessarily a rapist. I don't know. But, like, you know.
Right. It's like, that's sort of, like... super awful criminal type would like send them to the wall to go like, you know, and it's like, no,
the person that like he said is kind of like supposed to be, and he's like, no, this one, no, we're just gonna
we're just gonna fully get rid of this guy.
We're not giving him that, like
no, this guy doesn't even deserve that.
Yeah, it's just interesting.
It is very interesting.
I feel like that's like my catchphrase. It's interesting. Just constantly.
I also say interesting all the time. I feel like it's like when I don't know the right word, I'm just like, it's so interesting. Right. Omoshiroi. But yeah, and also I think because like once he actually like starts, dog is crinkling a plastic bag just like incidentally, and so I'm moving it away. Once he starts like straight up like just directly threatening him, he goes pale.
Yeah,
he's so like scared, and then as soon as he finds out he's not being literally executed right now, he's like, you can't do shit to me. It's like he's
dwarf and
he's just like immediately like as soon as he's threatened, he's like and then as soon as he's like, oh no, I'm not dying literally right now, well in that case like, he's such a little bitch, you know. And so that's interesting. And then it's like
he was very scared for his kids.
He was very scared for his kids. But Tyrion could see the sudden fear in Jonathan's eyes. 3, my lord, and a daughter, please, my lord. But yeah, and so then
he basically like, oh, like they'll get married off and all this or whatever.
Yeah, no harm will come to them. The younger boys will be fostered out as squires. They'll serve well. You know, they'll be married off, and you know, so he'll become a squire. It's not gonna get Harrenhal by any means. Fuck no. But like, you know, they'll be like a minor lord somewhere. They'll be like a knight. They'll be a squire. Don't worry about it. More you know.
Like, honestly, he's, like, taking care of his kids, actually. Like, with, like, sending him to the wall. Like, there's... I don't know what would have happened to them, you know, if they weren't...
Right, because it's, like... Because then they could end up being, like, pawns used against him by, like, someone a lot worse. It's like, no... It's, like, it's... You know, your children are still going to get, like, a better life than they would have been as, like, you know, before you, like, up jumped, but not as much. And also they're going to be kind of, like, split up. So, like, you know, there's, like...
But, like, how well would he have done at Harrenhal? Like, he wasn't ready for it. Like, he wasn't. He doesn't know, like...
Yeah, it would have been shit.
Especially with how important it is with this whole, like, war, with, like, the wars that are happening. He's just... fully in not the position to do that. And does not take advice in a way that would allow him to be made into a person that could, you know?
And so then he gets him fucking whisked away by the gold cloaks, and
there is also the aspect of Tywin just wanting a this guy who shouldn't be a lord out. You know, like where's like all this noble, you know, like stuff from like Tyrion or whatever, and like he's like doing some good here. But also the biggest reason why Tywin wants this guy out is purely selfish. This guy shouldn't even really be a lord. Like he shouldn't have been elevated like this. This is bullshit.
There's lords and there's peasants, and that's the way it goes.
So there is that whole kind of aspect of like a big reason why he's even being targeted in this.
Right, exactly. And then once that's all done, once the guy has been carried away, Varys comes gliding in. It's like, oh, sweetly done, my good lord.
I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, it's a good question. And what do you have any thoughts?
I don't like him much. Not in a bad way. Not like I don't like his character.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have bad vibes.
Yeah, he is all about bad vibes, that's for sure. The storms come and go, the waves crash overhead, the big fish eat the little fish, and I keep on paddling. That's Varys talking.
Yeah, because he's like, I kind of like you, but like maybe I'll kill you one of these days or whatever. Like maybe I should have you thrown off a boat.
Yes, yeah.
He's like, the waves will bring me back out, or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sorely tempted to do. Yeah, it's like I told them to throw LR Deem into the sea. I'm sorely tempted to do the same to you. You might be disappointed by the results. And then that little bit that I read. Yeah, Cersei sent the gold cloaks to that brothel. Varys tittered nervously, so he had known all along. You left that part out. Your own sweet sister. It is a hard... Varys said, so grief-stricken he looked close to tears. It is a hard thing to tell a man, my lord. I am fearful how you might take it. Can you forgive me? No. Damn you. Damn her.
Yeah, and he's like, I can't even do anything about it.
Like, I can't fucking do anything to Cersei. Yeah. In future, you tell me what you know, Lord Varys. All of what you know. That might take rather a long time, my good lord. I know quite a lot. It's like, I love Varys. Varys is just like... Because it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Because you're like, what are you doing? Suspicious, bad vibes. And I'm like, yeah, what are you doing, man? You're just fucking like... he's just fucking joking around and doing shit and just chilling, and you're like, what are you up to? It's like, I don't know. Stuff. I confess I never dreamed the babe would be at risk. What threat could she pose? She was Robert's. That was enough for Cersei, it would seem. Yep. Yes, it is grievous and sad. I must blame myself for the poor sweet babe and her mother, who was so young and loved the king. Did she? Tyrion never thought, had never seen the dead girl's face, but his mind it was Shay and Tysha both.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he... And then, you know, he has this whole thing where he's, like, thinking about, like, who he can trust and, like, you know, like, his sort of connections, like, Tysha and whatnot, and, like, wanting her to love him, but being like, no, I know that she doesn't love me, but then also, like, you know.
Yeah. And, like, Shay saying that she wants to be, like, around and stuff, but, like, he can't have her around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so then they're talking a little bit about, the death of Ned.
Right, and like who is really responsible for it.
Yeah, it does seem my sister was telling the truth about Stark's death. We have my nephew to thank for that madness. King Joffrey gave the command. Janos Slynt and Sir Ilyn Payne carried it out swiftly, without hesitation. And so then they get into their conversation about the nature of power. Power is a curious thing, my lord. Perchance you have considered the riddle I posed to you that day in the inn. The king, the priest, the rich man, who lives, who dies. It is a riddle without an answer, or rather too many answers. All depends on the man with the sword. And yet he is no one, Varys said. He has neither crown, nor gold, nor favor of the gods, only a piece of pointed steel. That piece of steel is the power of life and death. Just so, yet if it is the swordsmen who rule us, in truth, why do we pretend our kings hold the power? Why should a strong man with a sword ever obey a king like Joffrey, or wine sodden oaf like his father? Because these child kings and drunken oafs can call other strong men with other swords. It's like, yes, but then...
why do they?
But then why do they? It just keeps going like that, you know? Some say knowledge is power. Some tell us that all power comes from the gods. Others say it is derived from law. Yet that day, on the steps of Baelor Sept, our godly High Septon and the lawful Queen Regent, and your ever so knowledgeable servant, were as powerless as any cobbler or cooper in the crowd. Who truly killed Eddard Stark, do you think? Joffrey, who gave the order, Sir Ilyn Payne, who swung the sword, or another? Power resides where men believe it does. No more, no less. So power is a mummer's trick? A shadow on the wall, Varys murmured. Yet shadows can kill, and ofttimes a very small man can cast a very large shadow. And then Tyrion says, Lord Varys, I am growing strangely fond of you. I may kill you yet, but I think I'd feel sad about it. And I'll take that as high praise. What are you, Varys? A spider, they say. And then Tyrion says, dwarfs are a jape of the gods, but men make eunuchs. Who cut you, Varys? When and why? Who are you, truly? The eunuch's smile never flickered, but his eyes glittered with something that was not laughter. You are kind to ask, my lord, but my tale is long and sad, and we have treason to discuss. And I just think that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I love their whole conversation there.
Yeah.
Like, the discussions about power, which...
Yeah. It's very, like, thematic and, like, kind of the whole...
One of the big thematic questions of Game of Thrones is sort of, like, laid out here. Like, this is one of the big questions that we're going to be, tackling in this series. And having Varys sort of, like, spell it out like that.
And there's this line in Stormlight Archive, like delusion perception or whatever. That's very like kind of the same
type of same type of deal, and it very much plays into like earlier when we were talking about like Robb now being king and how that changes how he interacts with other people.
Sorry. Go ahead.
When we were talking about like Robb being king now and how that changes how Robb interacts with people and how the lords interact with Robb and all that sort of stuff. And we were talking about that earlier. It very much made me think about this.
Yes.
You know, power resides where people believe it resides. You know, it's like Robb has to put forth this image because he has to make people believe that he has power. Right. And the power comes from these people believing in him and willing to like fight for him. And so it's just like it all comes together so well. And then also just this little bit where like Tyrion is, like, genuinely, like, reaching out to Varys.
Yeah,
like, like, no, like, who are you? Like, actually, who are you? Like, like, not all this political bullshit. Like, who are you? What's your story? What happened to you?
Right.
And it seems like Varys is maybe, like, actually a little touched by it, but he's still not going to talk about it because, you know, he's Varys.
Yeah.
And I just find that fascinating. Do you think we're ever going to get Varys' sort of, like,
I think we could.
Story? Yeah. It's also interesting that he says that shadows can kill, considering we do know that, like, literally there's, like, crazy shadow magic and shit.
Right.
You know? It's like, are you just saying shit, or do you know shit, Varys? Right. You know? But yeah. And so then they go...
I bet he knows shit. He always knows shit.
Yeah, he does always know some shit. So then they start going over, like, all right, so what are we doing?
Right,
like, politically, you know.
Yep, and then, like, all these things that, like, came up and stuff. Oh, right, because then there was the whole thing with, like, there was, like, a one line that, like, put me on a spiral for, like, a day.
Yeah. Oh, right, yes, the guy. Yes, because one of Tyrion's mountain men...
Because I've been thinking about Hunter x Hunter.
Yes.
We'll have to start with that.
Yes. So, like, one of Tyrion's, like, mountain men...
Gets in a fight,
and he, like, killed someone with his bare hands.
And he just tears out this guy's throat.
And it's like, you know, he has this thing that he does where, like, he stiffens his fingers.
Yeah, and then it just cuts the sentence off there.
Mm-hmm.
So then my immediate thought was like, oh, that reminds me of Killua. So then my brain just turned it into this guy, like, could...
harden his fingers.
He hardened his fingers and tore someone apart somehow. Mm-hmm. And then it was, like, a few days, and then I kept getting, like... distorted in my head to, like, more and more.
This guy can, like, harden his hand or whatever, and I'm like, what?
And I'm like, was it Game of Thrones? Was I watching something, like, listening to something else at work and I combined it? Like, am I going crazy? So then I skimmed through, like, all of these chapters, basically, like, on my, like, phone or whatever, and then I finally am like, he has this technique where he stiffens his fingers. I'm like, oh, it's literally just...
Yep, he has this trick where he stiffens his fingers. Spare me the grisly details.
Yeah, I was like, that was all it was. I'm like, I was on a spiral for, like, days about this.
Yep, just like, there was something like, you know, magic and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so yeah, Tyrion then is just, like, finishing up, like, business with Varys. There's, like, a guy who was, like, trying to go over to Stannis, and so it's like, alright, put him on trial. Joffrey will like putting him on trial, and it'll, like, set an example without just, like, quietly getting rid of him. And, you know, Varys is just writing this stuff down. The Red One twins that got, like, mentioned offhand earlier have a plan to escape.
Right,
and Tyrion's, like, just, like...
cutting it off.
And they're, like, cutting it off. And so you just see, like, oh yeah, they have this plan, this guy got bribed, they're gonna go do this, and it's like, yeah, go get the guy who they bribed and just, like, send him to the wall.
Yeah.
And we also have a sudden plague of holy men. The comet has brought forth all manner of queer priests, preachers, and prophets, it would seem.
And Tyrion's like, I don't care.
I don't really care. We were close on 300 years since Aegon's landing. I suppose this is only to be expected. Let them rant. They are spreading fear, my lord. I thought that was your job.
Right.
Yeah. So that's just kind of funny. Oh yeah. Lord Giles rose to lift a cup to the king, and Sir Balin Swan was heard to remark, "We'll need 3 cups for that." Many laughed. Tyrion raised a hand. Enough! Sir Balin made a jest. I am not interested in treasonous table talk, Lord Varys.
Yeah. Which I love.
Yep, it's like, I don't care. I don't care that someone made a joke about there being multiple kings right now.
Because Cersei might have cared.
Oh,
you know, like, you told that to another Lannister, you know.
And it's like, you know, I could, you know, on the sliding scale of things, it's like, what's the most appropriate thing to, you know, it's just a joke.
Yeah.
So it's like, it doesn't really matter. I could see someone being like, hey now, maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you a little bit of a talking to, but like, that's about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tyrion had the city watch now, and then he's like, thinking about, like, all the people that he has on his side. It's like, okay, I've got the City Watch on my side, hopefully.
Yeah.
I've got the people that, like, the mountain men that I brought.
Right.
And Bran is, like, recruiting for me.
Right.
And so it's like, hey, Bran, how's recruiting going? It's going alright, you know, talking about that. And then Tyrion's like, tell me, Bran, if I told you to kill a babe, an infant girl, say, at her mother's breast, would you do it without question? Without question, no. I'd ask how much.
Right.
And why would I never need Alardim, Lord Slint? Tyrion thought. I have 100 of my own. He wanted to laugh, he wanted to weep. Most of all, he wanted Shay.
Yeah.
Yep, because Tyrion, he's doing it, but he also doesn't like it.
Yep.
Like, in some ways he likes it, but in other ways he doesn't like it.
Right.
You know?
It's super interesting.
It is very interesting. Tyrion's definitely, like, this guy who's, like, you know, he wants to do good, but he also
wants to pretend that he doesn't care as much as he does, which is also interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's just, like, he's willing to do these, like, certain things.
Right.
And we know that he can be kind of, like, you know, petty and cruel to people at times.
Like, Ned wouldn't have thrown that guy off the boat. He would have been just like, just send him to the wall with the rest.
Wall.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's just, like...
Because here's the thing. This is a thing that...
But, like, would that guy have caused more problems at the wall than, like, getting rid of him? You know? Like...
Yeah. I need to actually check something real quick now, because I'm like...
Or would he have been really good at the wall? Because the guy said, like, he's extremely loyal.
Yes.
Like, maybe he actually could have been, like, really, like, reformed and, like, actually done really well there. Like, I don't know, you know?
Yep. It's like, you don't know. You don't get to know. To check.
Not like I feel bad for that guy, you know? Like...
Yeah. So something... So here's something I do want to mention. This was from all the way back in the Arya chapter. I totally forgot to talk about this, but it relates a little bit, so I can bring it up now. Because the folks going to the wall right now with Arya.
Right.
3 of them are, like, in a cage.
Right.
In the cart.
Right.
There's 3 guys.
The guy without the nose and
It's Jack and Hagar, Rorge, and Biter.
Yeah.
Rorge is missing a nose. Biter's got, like, his teeth filed to points, and he just, like, hisses at people and doesn't even, like, talk. And then there's Jack and Hagar, who's handsome and well-spoken and sounds kind of like Syrio Farrell. Like, he's, like, from the Free Cities. I don't think he's from Bravos. I think he's from, like, a different Free City.
Gotcha.
I think he says the name of it at one point. This man has the honor to be Jack and Hagar, once of the free city of Lorath. This man's ill-bred companions in captivity are named Rorge and Biter. A man must have some name, is it not so? Biter cannot speak and Biter cannot write, yet his teeth are very sharp, so a man calls him Biter, and he smiles. Are you charmed? And he's, wants Arya to get them beer, and then Arya's no, and so it's just, like, we get, like, introduced to them.
Right, just see them a little bit.
And so that was, like, an important thing in Arya's chapter that we forgot to bring up because we didn't go as in depth, but, like... remember them. Yes, they will be important. And I like, because I like the way that Jack and Hagar speaks. His a man says, a man says, is it not so, all this sort of stuff. So that's a little important thing, but also it's like, these guys are going to the wall.
Right.
Like, fucking, Rorge is a piece of shit. Like, he's got no nose, and he's always screaming, and, like...
Yeah, it's his own little bit of revenge, his own little bit of, like, Yeah. And then Biter is just, like, a fucking feral man with pointed teeth who hisses at people, and it's just, like, this man, I don't know if he can exist in society at this point. Right.
Like, I don't know, like...
What
his deal is, how he got like this, but, like... Can this guy
go, like, succeed there in any way?
Who knows? Maybe,
Right.
And so it's just, like, interesting, like, Tyrion being like, no, this guy doesn't even get to go to the wall and try and reform, versus, like, the wall taking fucking Biter over here. Yeah. It's just, like, a fascinating little dichotomy there.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that we got to mention that, because that was actually an important thing for Arya's chapter to mention. Yeah. It's just, like, a brief little moment in that chapter, so it's, like, it's easy to kind of, like,
they come up a bit more in the...
They come up a bit more in the next one, but we'll, in the next chapter. We'll get to that next time, so... But yeah, do we have anything else?
I don't think so.
For Tyrion's chapter? Yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah.
This is, like, such a good section.
Yeah.
We've...
Yeah, it's been a great section. We went a bit long.
Yeah, it's like we're getting close to 3 hours, kind of, but we're also going to get truncated down, so... But yeah, this has been a good one. We had some good tangents.
Yeah.
You know, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff that I've been super excited to dig into.
Yep, we got to have our little mini Wheel of Time podcast in the middle there. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Alrighty. What we've been reading is nothing. Nothing new, nothing worth talking about. The same old.
Been watching Hunter x Hunter, but
been watching. We did watch. We did actually watch some more Hunter x Hunter. So I saw a bit of that.
Yeah. Other than that, not a lot.
Gon's dad is the worst.
Yeah, he sucks.
And so that's fun. I get to experience. Experience some of that. And One Piece continues to be good. It's getting crazy.
It is.
God Valley.
I'm excited for the next chapter. It's just wild.
It's wild. It's like God Valley is real.
Yeah, it is happening.
It's happening.
We might not cut away from it this time.
Imagine not cutting away from God Valley. No, Oda will find a way. He'll be and we're still not going to show you all of it, actually. Just a little bit more. There's one more important thing that we're just not going to... but yeah, so that's sort of just been what we've been reading, I guess.
Yeah.
The usual.
Yeah.
And this has been Let's Talk About Book. Now you can go forth and think about book on your own time.
Yeah.
Have a lovely whatever time it is.
Have a lovely, wonderful day.
Ooh. Bye-bye.
Bye.